Start recording. Start streaming. That is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And welcome, everybody, to another episode of Rocks Fall Everyone Dice. I'm here with the family Amber. This is episode 1.
And there is no previously on this time.
There is no previously. You guys won't have to do recap. Hooray. The one time.
You say you guys like there's an option.
Every once in a while you might be sick and Skylar or Ray will be stuck in it. You know, it's fine. The primer for this one is the last will and testament of Lord Stephen Amber. To bring you all up to speed with the primer. Lord Stephen Amber, the Etty d'Amberville, has been missing for 5 years and is presumed dead. Bards have been sent far and wide by his regent, Davanti El Sparta. The regent has given very specific instructions and a list of names to be brought to Summerview Chateau, located south of Wood Accord in the Majocracy of Carthal, the heart and seat of the Amberville family. Each PC is brought to a will reading where they will learn that they are direct bastards of Lord Stephen Amber, a human archmaster, master of the Amber estate, and lord of his ancestral lands, d'Amberville. The PCs will learn something here as we do an introduction. Each of your PCs has received a letter. One way or another, a messenger has found you. A different messenger, if there's context for that. Keep in mind who that messenger was. Your character can explain that scene, perhaps in side scenes or explanations. It's up to you. But the contents of the letter is the same for every single member. Dear child of my dearest friend, it is with greatest sympathy that I must inform you of the passing of your distant and more than likely absent father, Lord Stephen Amber, the Etty d'Amberville. In accordance to his will, that I found that if found dead or missing for more than 3 years, the Lord Amber is pronounced deceased, and a will reading will be administered by myself, his regent. Enclosed in this letter, you will find excess funds to provide you luxurious passage to my personal estate, the Summerview Chateau, and you will be able to travel back with plenty to spare. On the 3rd Ibn day of Armat, there will be a reading of the Lord Amber's last will and testament. With all my sympathies, Regent Davanti El Sparta. And apparently the pizza is done.
I can go get it because we can.
Okay. Because of that, let me set up a little bit of preamble for the game. Carthal is the Majocracy of Carthal. On the map that you are afforded, that is the northernmost region, it is south of Wood Accord, which you will find on that map. The Amber family, you all know to be one of the older families in Carthal, which is a Majocracy, which means that those that have magic are normally in charge, and it's old magical ancestral seats. Old wizards holding on to old strange power. Each of you, of course, are bastards. Lord Amber was notorious about getting around and having a great time, as he was an adventurer in his youth until he took an arrow to the knee. All right, well, we're waiting for that pizza to come in. Ensmeet is a town, to set the boundaries of this adventure so far. Ensmeet is a town. It's fully written up. You guys are able to travel around that town, do whatever you want to relax. Oh,
Ensmeet or Landon?
Ensmeet. I screwed up the name.
I'm totally good with that because I don't want to make clothing jokes the rest of the game.
Ensmeet is the name of the town, and it is located about 1.5 miles from the Castle d'Amberville, which is a large, sprawling castle. In the Google Drive that I've given each of you, you actually have a map of Ensmeet, and inside the images and scenery, I do have a map of the castle. It is a small map. Well, it's the outside view, just to give you an idea of what it looks like. It is a large castle. I'll try to get a larger one for you, but you'll understand that there's a large walled outer wall, an inner wall, and there is, of course, a large, sprawling estate with an eastern and western wing. There's 2 different guest quarters outside of it, and we will, a large part of this adventure will take part in that estate as well, as you will learn about trying to regain, well, to be able to gain power. Okay. Still waiting. Perhaps I should have helped. Skylar, can you go give
The map that you were just talking about,
Yes.
is that the one that's all gold and cream color tones? Castle Amber exterior?
Yes. Castle Amber exterior.
I can't seem to blow that up. It's like 2 inches by 3 inches on my screen.
Yeah, I know. It's a very small map. There's a bigger one.
Okay, that's what you meant by very small map. Thank you, that's helpful. I thought you meant like, oh, it wants to show a small picture of town. No, it's really a really small map.
Yeah, it is a tiny image. I thought it was much bigger. It's not. There is a bigger one.
Oh, it's cool.
Somewhere. This one's actually fairly large. Let me see if I can save image.
And I am limited as a bard in the number of spells that I have. Is that correct?
Yeah. I mean, you have a bard and a wizard are very similar. You have the humanities route instead of the sciences route, right?
And you know what? It'd be nice to get out of the sciences for once.
Yeah. I think I've got at least a. This one. I wonder if I can make this bigger. Yeah, that one's a little bit bigger. I wonder if I can make this a bigger image. Open with paint. And I wonder if I can just grab it and just make it much larger. Nope. I think this one's at least a little bit larger, so while we're waiting for everybody, I didn't expect the pizza to take so long to grab. Anyway, we're still waiting. I'm just going to we'll be right back. Okay, we are back. All right. So we begin our adventure with how are you guys traveling to Ensmeet, to the Summerview Chateau?
Rough. like cheap. We're not looking to spend all the money that they sent with us, even though that's the case.
Okay.
Basically, try and save as much of that money as we can.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So your characters then.
Probably walking or maybe.
Probably took,
Maybe.
got passage on a ship as part of the crew, and then
Yeah, worked whatever we could, and then
Yeah.
we probably assisted as like
Mhm.
guards.
caravan
bit, yeah.
guards, that kind of
Okay.
stuff.
Worked our way here.
Okay. So your characters are riding on the back of an open wagon full of hay that is making its way towards Ends Meet. It is piloted by a human merchant named Grigor. Grigor Lebari. Grigor is just passing through. He's a hay merchant from Wood Accord, which he has several hay fields. The cart itself is quite large, right? And you guys find that you have very little room in the back, but you guys are able to kind of sit on the back as it's kind of going. You guys have also doubled up as guards, so he's giving you free passage, not charging you for that. Your characters made port in Wood Accord, and you've been traveling from there for probably about, I would say, on carriage, about 3 days.
Okay.
As you guys come through Land's End, Ends Meet. Ends Meet is in a large, sprawling forest and also valley, right? It's very large, sprawling hills, much like San Diego, California, where you'll crest large hills and you'll be able to see for miles and see other peaks of other large hills. And the village itself is set into a valley in this hill. As you come down the main road to the south gate, it is summertime, right? It is very warm. You pass a cemetery road leading to the south gate. As you get to the south gate, there aren't really any guards there, right? This isn't a town that has large guards. It just has a traditional gate that you assume they probably shut at night to probably keep people from going through the town at night. Maybe even they have a guard at that point, but who knows at this point, not being locals. You take your first road to the right past the south gate. An old couple kind of waves at you as you go by the first house. The houses, this isn't like a neighborhood block. There are houses, the town itself is built into a small thicket. So you'll come across large brushes of trees and then another house. And the only thing that seems to connect this town together are the intersecting roads throughout the town. The Summerview Chateau. As you guys pull off to the right, you're going back uphill. You can see the Summerview Chateau well before you get to it. This is one of the few well-paved stone roads that leads up the hill. You pass a kind of like a barnyard style house that probably acts as kind of like the servants. As you crest the hill, you come up to a 3-story large manor house. It's more long than it is wide, so it has a very long body and has 2 stories upon its top, almost making it look like a triangle of sorts. It has one of those. It has a large fountain outside of it. The fountain itself is that of a phoenix, arms spread out, shooting water out of its mouth that kind of rains down the rest of the fountain. And there is a large entryway in which stands before it 2 gentlemen. One, a well-dressed human with long black hair has been braided in the back, kind of like a ponytail. and appears much older, maybe in his 60s, slim figure. This is, of course, Devontiel Sparta. He walks with a small black cane. There is another gentleman here, which is a younger man wearing armor. And seems to have a large S across his chest with a phoenix wrapped around it, holding on to it, of course, signatory of House Sparta, probably a guard. He does not give his name. As the hay barrel, did you guys make the poor Grigori guy, go up the hill with no, or you guys have just been walking it?
Yeah, so as soon as he pulls off, bye Gregor, thanks for the ride, all that jazz. Good luck with the hay fever. That must be terrible in your line of work, but
okay.
Good luck.
Okay. All right. So, your characters approach the large estate. It is a white. It has a white exterior, probably that white British pitch you've seen before, where it's got that stucco on the outside, and wood trim, some colored leafing of red outside, but that's about it. Outside that, and a tile roof. Nice estate, but not the grander estates you've probably seen within the cities propers of Carthal.
At least this town isn't too big.
That's true.
It's small.
Welcome. I am Devontiel Sparta. I'm standing as regent for the D'Amberville estate. You are, I would assume, from the Ninadranian children that I've heard about in his writings.
Vitar and Azula Maja.
As you shake his hand, describe your characters.
Vitar is a. One second. Sorry, my brain just went. You go first.
Okay, so Azula will say, so she'll say her hellos as well. She'll try and shake the hand of the guard, thinking that's appropriate.
He just stands there.
She waves it in the air in front of him,
okay.
and then folds her hands. The Badger folk, from her snout down, she has the black coloring, and then above that is basically the white coloring, kind of like the honey badger look, with also a long braid, and she's kind of side-eyeing the braid that Devontia has, and she's like, is that the style here? Do I need to learn how to do that? Because hers is going to be more of a Viking style braid, where it's a lot of little braids that are kind of all woven together. She's wearing some greens and browns, something that is going to kind of go about down to mid-calf for an overcloak. And she's probably, her walking stick is really her quarterstaff.
Okay.
For Vitar, he has pure white hair, with black fur over the rest of his face and hands. You don't really see much of his body, his skin underneath his clothing, so you don't actually see his hands. But he has tons of ear and nose piercings. He decked out in lots of rings and that kind of stuff. He has bright green eyes, wearing a what looks to be something like a captain's coat for a sailor captain's coat, that kind of thing. That's red with green trim. Very much think of a styles himself to look kind of like a wealthier merchant.
Okay. Devontiel Sparta will say, Welcome to Somerville Chateau. Some of your half-brothers and sisters have already made it here. Some are still en route. We will do the reading in 3 hours. You have the run of the mansion. We have rooms ready for you, of course, for the first day here. Outside of that, you will have to find your own accommodations within the town. That will be explained, of course, within the will reading. You will be, of course, before entering the will reading, you will be forced to at least sign a non-disclosure contract of the reading itself. This is preliminarily a requirement that the Magus Council has put upon myself. There is a small geas attached to it to let you know. The geas shouldn't be an issue for you. I, of course, was opposed to this, but because of the large sums of land and power that are associated with this reading, you, of course, are bound by some secrecy due to some issues that will be disclosed within procuring your birthright, which you rightfully are owed. Do you have any questions before you go inside? There is.
Can I see that contract so I can read over that before we get to the signing?
There will, of course. It is inside. It is displayed upon the wall. Before you are able to enter to have food and drink, of course, it is required to sign. And you are required to stay in the room until the reading is done.
So we don't have run of the house.
You will have run of the house after the reading. Until then, you are secluded in that room. If you choose, if you do not choose, you can, of course, you are free to leave. I can give you funds and you can turn back. I do have horses ready in the barn if you would like.
Well, we'll read the contract. We're used to contracts. It's fine.
Oh, yeah, of course. Well,
we've done this once before. Maybe kind of. Well, not exactly like this.
Well, this is different.
This is different.
Your father, of course, was very inquisitive about contracts. See, perhaps you have gained this from him. I see a measure of him in both of you. He was my dear friend.
So, how many other half siblings are we expecting here? Like, that got around. It sounds like.
I am expecting. Well, we sent out 30 invitations. So, we will see how many of the 30...
I mean, to be fair, he did charm our mother, which...
Well, that took something.
That takes some work.
Yeah.
I don't know how he did that one.
Magic. It was magic.
That's fair. That wouldn't surprise me either.
Yeah.
Well, we have ventured many years together. Of course, Nididran itself as well. I have been with him too. It's an interesting place. I, of course... partook less of the local accommodations than your father, but he was a spirited man. Anyways, to inside with you, and the contract is actually there. You will see a large book stand. If you open the large ledger, there's a pen atop, and of course, I do have a servant overseeing the signatories. And that servant will explain the nature of the Gia spell. So as players, you can freely look up the Gia spell. Anyway.
All right.
If there's nothing else, please, inside.
First thing I'm doing is reading over that contract.
Oh, yeah, same.
As thorough as I
Same.
can.
The two of us are basically head-to-head, like... Yep.
It seems like standard stuff. There's a lot about in there that you're just basically not allowed to speak about some of the things until after a certain date.
Standard NDA.
Standard NDA. It's basically an NDA.
Does it say what the consequences of breaking the Gias is?
Yeah, look into the Gia spell.
Oh, so it doesn't say within the contract itself.
It's 20d10 damage.
Right.
Mechanically.
No, yeah.
And mechanically, probably death.
Right.
So you read, oh, we'll die. Okay.
I didn't know if because of the specialness to this, if there was any changes to that, if it's straight. Okay.
And I'm going to use my
it's going to be basically, it's going to hurt a lot.
Cool.
I'm going to read over and look over it magically to see if there's any hidden details that they're trying to hide from me.
No hidden details.
What language is it in?
It is in Carthalian.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So, moving on to the next person.
After discussing it, we would sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, we sign and then we go get food and drink.
Okay, you get food and drink.
And we
There
start-
are nondescript NPCs in there. Lots of people with similar features.
I watch the braids. I'm like, we're gonna have to change her hair.
I'm gonna.
I hear something.
I
going
could
on
put
upstairs.
braids in.
Beep beep beep.
Oh,
beep,
yep.
beep, beep,
Oh,
beep.
you got it. Okay.
I got it.
Yeah.
Moving off to the next person, which would be, I believe, would be Sebastian Fitzamber.
It's a great name.
That's a cool name.
Where do we find Sebastian at the moment before he arrives at the estate?
My understanding is that he's working here in town, is he not? This is the same town that Cass Lambert's in, right?
Yes, if I believe I put details about the place you're working at in your background.
I'm double checking to make sure I understand it. It's all right here. So he's working over at
Cockleburr Inn and Tavern.
the Cockleburr Tavern.
Mm-hmm.
He probably got. I assume he's got a room there that's his room.
Yep.
Okay. So he is there checking on his mother and his sister and saying, "I'll be back shortly. This won't take very long, I don't think." Reassuring them.
Describe your character as you're kind of standing up for the day and getting ready at the Cockleburr Inn and Tavern in town in Hensmead.
He's a half-orc, so he's built like a wall. He is pretty good shape. Short curly hair, skin's somewhere between light brown and light red.
Okay.
If that's cool with you in your games, I want to make sure orcs aren't green in your game.
That's what orcs are, all types of colors. So whatever
Great.
you want.
Great, he's reddish brown.
Okay.
He has a bit more of a human nose, which makes him stand out from a lot of half-orcs. But his ears are definitely orcish. His jawline definitely does. He's got little tusks. You can tell he's not human. But his nose causes him some level of trouble when he was growing up. He's dressed in actually decent armor. And he seems comfortable with who he is. He also seems ambitious. Like, he is up first thing in the morning. He's got breakfast done. He goes in the kitchen, washes his own dishes. He's that guy.
How tall and what's the build of your character?
He's fairly tall, 6'2".
Okay.
He's about 210. So he's thin, but he's got broad shoulders like a lot of half-orcs. It doesn't look like he works out. It looks like he's just naturally built that way, like a lot of half-orcs are.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you want to know? Let's see. Clothing looks very clean and well kept. I mean, the fact that he lives with mom.
Yeah.
Okay. As you kind of get up for the day, knocking on your door, you hear a familiar voice, that of Otto Wagner, the owner and proprietor of the Cockleburr Inn and Tavern, a retired mercenary of the Eastern Front.
Open the door.
A large, burly man, wild hair and beard, probably wearing his morning apron, probably got done smoking meats. He says, "Oh, Sebastian, looks like today's the day. You wearing your best?"
I'm wearing what I think is best.
Well,
I don't think mother would want me to wear my church clothes.
well, regardless of what some of the people say in town, you are owed this. You are owed this deeply. All the cousins.
Thank you.
All of the cousins have not left the estate for many years. I fear because they know what's coming. you have been closest to home. I have much hope for you, that you will not be in my house much longer, and perhaps I will visit you and your mother in a much bigger place with white walls and great halls.
If it turns out that that is the case, oh no, you will always have a seat by my fire. You've done so much more for us than we could have hoped for. Thank you for your generosity and kindness.
You've always
And
been
he'll embrace it. He'll embrace it. Like, this is an uncle to him as far as he's concerned.
okay. You embrace him. You and Otto were about the same height, right?
So he's a bigger guy just in terms of roundness.
Yeah, he is. He is very stout. He has definitely taken towards his retirement.
But in his heyday, he was a badass, right?
Oh yeah, no, he was at one point equivalent to a 15th level fighter. He has lost levels, and his stats have gone down throughout the years. He is very much a cook and a retired adventurer who has opened up his own inn. Right?
Human.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
sorry.
Most NPCs you'll run into in this town are human.
Okay, so unless you say it
Unless I say
okay.
otherwise, they are it. Of course, Otto does his best to keep his hair trimmed because you and others know that only the nobles of Carthal and noble wizards can grow out their hair long. Right? The longer the hair, the stronger the wizard, the stronger the noble connections.
So how does that work for me? I'm a very low level non-wizard but spellcaster.
You are allowed to grow out your hair a bit, especially since you have some curls, especially since you're a bastard, right?
Hey.
You're able to have curls, and if you perhaps this will reading goes well, you might even be able to grow your hair much longer.
The hounds have been unleashed.
I'll walk across town when it's ready. Up the top. This is not let me walking across town, apparently.
No, you stay in your tavern.
You don't leave the room, dude.
Okay, we are back. Okay, so we pick back up with Sebastian Fitzamber, our half-orc local in town. Sebastian, as you've grown up in town, you do know the Amber family. You do know the locals here. So,
And I did write in my background. You asked me for more enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Someone from the Amber family.
Yep. So, Otto, obviously, you know, and everyone from the Cocklebur Inn and Tavern. There is a map of the town that I've made available in that Google Drive. You are deeply familiar with the layout of the town and the people in it. You have grown up. You have been here your whole life. So,
right.
You do know Devonti of Sparta was a peasant-born Cartholian. He has very limited magical ability that he has taken years to even understand. He was an adventurer for years with Stephen Amber in their youths, and Stephen, you know, had used his lordly position to raise up his friend within the Cartholian hierarchy, and through a lifetime of hard work, he has become a viscount, which is one of the lowest noble positions, just above a standard lord. And as you know, that since Lord Stephen Amber had gone missing 5 years ago, that a year after Devonti Sparta became the regent of his house. Whenever Lord Stephen Amber was gone, Devonti would become his regent until he came back.
So they're that level close. They're like that.
Yes, they are the closest of friends. And he is one of the few surviving members of Lord Stephen Amber's youthful adventuring party.
Do I know anything about if he's obviously got a class or a skill set? Do I know anything about that?
Mechanically,
you say he was a minor caster.
Mechanically, he would be an arcane trickster, right? So he is a rogue, right, which is a skill-based class and possesses minor magical talents. You yourself, you believe, probably have about the same magical talent as he has. Another reason why he has not been able to ever raise himself beyond, he just doesn't have the knack that you naturally have. You've learned more about magic in the last 5 years than he has in the last 40. So, speaking of in town, the Cocklebur Inn and Tavern, Otto himself was at one point a member of the adventuring party, but he was more in and out as he was a soldier on the Eastern Front. That's why he settled back at Innsmeet as he was a local hero.
So how do you pronounce that word? Far off lands of Aachen? A-H-C-H-E-N?
Say again?
How do I pronounce that area of service? The far off lands of, it's spelled A-A-C-H-E-N. Just how do I pronounce that?
Oh, that Otto was from?
Yes.
Yeah, Aachen. Aachen is a region within Carthol. You know, just like Iowa is a region within the United States. So there are
stereotyped and full of corn.
Yes. And then he came back here because he was born here, raised there. Then he came back here to settle for the rest of his life. Here, you make your way towards the large manor house, the Summerview Chateau. The Cocklebur is on the northwestern side. The Summerview Chateau is actually polar opposite. It is on the southeastern side. So you're going to have to pass the Tanner's house, the Prim house.
I suppose that Devonti Sparta gave a large amount of sum just for me to walk across town.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just got you got the same amount of money as everyone else. So your character has probably used a lot of those funds locally, maybe helping out your mom and your sister, right?
Absolutely. And to get my clothes washed.
Right. You get your clothes washed, maybe to get some nicer clothes, maybe to pay off some debts, you know, that kind of thing.
Totally good with that.
Yeah.
Totally good with it.
Yeah, you make yourself past the Railer's cottage, Gilder's house, and eventually, these are just people that you know through the main street, and eventually you come to the large manor house. Devantio Sparta is standing there with his black cane, and you notice that he has, of course, his guard with him. He only really has one guard slash manservant, a retired human from the Eastern Front, uh, named Olus. Olus doesn't speak much. As you know, he is wounded, and he specifically doesn't have a tongue. So he is not. He is able to communicate with some hand signs, which you've been able to identify. He's using sign language in my world is Kenku hand sign. So the Kenkus have their own hand language. He has started slowly picking that up, and you believe he communicates with Devonti through that. Devonti will greet you and say, Sebastian, son of my friend, it is wonderful you have arrived. Obviously, your travels here were a little less daunting than your other half-brothers and sisters.
Mrs. Thompson has her laundry out. That was the biggest challenge I had.
Ah, yes, you have to be careful. She is good at whipping anybody that tries to throw possibly dirty her freshly washed linens. I know I haven't been able to speak with you about your half-brothers and sisters for quite some time. Your father's discretions were his own. Obviously, he has always been a little distant, but perhaps this is a chance for you to get to know him, as I have known him, through his, your brothers and sisters. I have sent out 30 invitations. I do not know if 30 will arrive, but
I can't be the first, can I?
you are not the first. There are many here that are here already. You will have to sign a GIAS upon entering. There are some complications with the inheritance. After the signatory of the GIAS, you will have to stay inside for the reading. Afterwards, you have freedom to do whatever you want. I apologize for the GIAS. It was not my decision.
May I ask what the decision was?
The Council of Nine.
Were they unhappy about the situation?
I don't know. Something's up on their dog brain.
Yeah, what's going on?
I am unable to speak about that until you sign the GIAS.
Well, I've wanted to be closer to my father's family for a long time. Where do I sign? Oh, Sebastian will absolutely read it.
Yeah. As you go inside, there I do have a servant, Nicholas, as you know him. He will show you the document. Of course, Nicholas is not a man of letters. He is not able to read it. But I have told him how the GIAS works. He is required to explain it to you. Of course, I know you understand the GIAS. You have had formal education.
Yes.
Anyways, please, there are maybe 15 or 20 that have arrived already. Hopefully the rest of your family are able to make it here in time. I'm afraid if they do not make it here today, they are disqualified from the reading and the inheritance. I sent out 30 bards to gather. Only 27 arrived back. The other 3 never came back. So, lands afar aplenty.
I appreciate your faith in me to complete whatever this says. Thank you. Bow to him as the title requires, and then I'll shake his hand.
Mm-hmm. Give you a handshake and a slight nod. You make your way inside the Summerview Chateau. Next is Justine. Justine, what does your character look like? And how is your character making your way to the Summerview Chateau in Innsmeet?
Let's see. What does my character look like? I have to look it up. Let's see. She is 4'2", with auburn hair. She has heterochromia, which means she has one blue eye and one brown eye. And I guess I have the longest way to travel, huh? She's actually going to rely on her connections with other traveling groups in order to make it into town.
Okay.
Everything she has is is pretty clearly well worn, good shape, but well worn. And so, she'll sleep rough if she has to, but otherwise she'll do what she can in order to trade in on those connections that she has throughout the other communities.
Okay. You, I would say, make your way, because you have to travel through the Democratic Free States of Pratistra, through Astaria, and then from Astaria to the southern regions of Carthal, all the way towards the Innsmeet in the lands of D'Amberville. You probably, at this point, you've probably bought a horse, I would say, right?
Okay.
Probably off of a traveling merchant named Horst, who is also making his way into town. Horst is appears to be a merchant, but he has a light load. He has a couple retainers with him, and he mostly he doesn't speak much, but his guards, Garrett and Bet, talk about business they have in town with members of the Amber family. They do mention members of the Amber family proper that are available on the Amber family lineage.
Okay.
Specifically, I believe their business in town was that they had with, I will look at the names, a Claude Amber. A Claude Amber. They have a large cart full of furs and exotic furs of exotic animals and animal heads that Claude has ordered that they're bringing into town. As you part ways past the southern gate, which is open, they head more north. As they do, they of course are passing a large half-orc fellow that makes his way up the hill just before you do. You eventually start making your way towards the Summerview Chateau. As the half-orc gentleman goes inside and finishes speaking towards a well-dressed man with a long braid and blackish clothes on a cane, who you now know as, you will assume, with your intelligence, is probably the Lord Spot. He will say, "Greetings."
But wait, two things before we get too far.
Yes.
One is that I couldn't remember what the German form of Fitz was, but I found out. So she's a Pectamber.
Pectamber. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Pecht. Pect.
Yep. Pectamber.
Pectamber. And secondly, as Tamir walks up, she's keeping an eye out for the way that any scullery maids might look. any stable folk that people that are often overlooked, except like they're supposed to be there, but often they have a pseudo uniform, even if they don't have like proper livery. So the what kind of shirt, what kind of pants, like how do the boots look, those kinds of things. She's trying to see if any of those people are around, just to keep them. She wants to know what the lower house servants would look like.
Lower house servants here would be dressed in mostly fitted pants and jerkins. For the males, the women would probably more than likely wear a clean one-piece cotton dress. You notice that for the people that working, at least as you're going up towards the Sparta house, you notice of the few servants here, all of them are dressed in black colored livery with a red trim, right? Which is means that it had to have been dyed.
Right.
And everyone has proper pants, and everything seems to have been well cleaned for them. You only notice about 3 or 4 servants, which seems unusual for the size of this estate. It seems sparsely. He doesn't keep many people around. You do notice the one guard here who does have a breastplate with the phoenix wrapped around an S, and he seems well guarded, though doesn't seem to say much. You do recognize, of course, that all of these servants have short cropped hair, and a lot of people around town have short cropped hair, which is probably unusual for you, because normally you see a lot of people with longer hair. In Carthal, as you've made your way up, you've noticed this, and you've probably taken note that non-nobles do not have long hair, right? The longer your hair, the more noble you are.
Gotcha.
So he will greet you, and he will say, yes, you, and you are, which, may I ask?
Tamir Pickdember.
Tamir Pickdember, from the, yes, one of the dwarves to the south of Khazad-dûm.
Yes.
It is a pleasure to meet you, madame. Many of your half-siblings are inside. We will, of course, ask that you sign a non-disclosure agreement before the wheel reading. It is a magical gift, but we do guarantee that you do have an out of this geas later. There are just some peculiarities about the inheritance that you are soon to come into. That the government of Carthal has required that I have you signatory upon before hearing. If you do not choose to sign, that is fine. I have horses ready and sacks of coins to enrich you and send you back to whatever lands you wish to go back to.
Of course.
Well, my name, of course, is Viscount Devontiel Sparta. I am the regent, and I was a close friend of your father. We will speak again many times, I hope. And if not, know that I see some of him in you.
Thank you.
Anyway, please go inside. Of course, as you do, you have run of the house after the wheel reading afterwards, but before it, you are secluded into the reading room.
Thank you, sir.
Of course. He'll motion inside.
Can I ask a quick question before we transition?
Sure.
Devonti, it's an El Sparta estate.
Sparta.
El Sparta. So Devonti, El Sparta. There's a space there.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm spelling it wrong.
Yes, it's actually El Kama and then the Sparta.
Okay. Thank
I
you.
think I got it spelled.
L apostrophe. Oh,
Yeah, it's right here in the primer. Davanti El Sparta.
okay. Nope, that's okay. That I can fix what I need to from there. Thank you.
There you go. So, next is, of course, Demolus Winter. So, what does your character look like, and how have you arrived at the estate? Obviously, you have a map back there to give yourself an idea. Let me grab the laser pointer, give you an idea how far you're traveling. Hey! Ha! You are from the lands of Mithras, correct? Specifically the Winter Court. So your character is from over here.
Oh, okay.
You are going over here.
Wow. All right.
And you're probably going to have to take this route because this way has some issues. Netadranian has many. This is a large piracy route, and of course, there's no way you're getting through Thay. So it's you literally have to cross 3 oceans and 4 seas to get here. So,
Okay.
You've probably been traveling, I would say, for 4.5 months. So, what does your character look like? And how do you arrive at the estate?
So, Demelis looks like an elf, pointy ears and kind of blondish white hair. They have a dark complexion.
Mm-hmm.
And about 5'7" ish. And kind of looks rather thin, but it's weird. Has a muscles. It just kind of scrawny looking in a way. And usually wears darker clothes, a cloak there he doesn't everything seems very clean about him, so that his clothes are clean and kind of well taken care of, I guess, but not extravagant clothing. And I imagine that he'd have to get passage on a ship, possibly as a stowaway, maybe. And probably been traveling quite a bit the ship, and then I would imagine that he's kind of hitched rides and so on.
Okay. I would imagine you've made your way here probably by yourself, right? On horse or on foot?
Probably on foot.
Okay. So you arrive here on foot. It is getting a little closer to later in the evening. You've been walking for quite a while. Carthal is sparsely populated, right? Many of its inhabitants, there just aren't a lot of people. Like there are a lot of wizards, much bigger, grander cities, and then just a bunch of smaller villages, maybe in the countryside, that more focus on farming the larger cities are these large magical metropolises, with like floating towers. And then you get out to the countryside where it's a 180, right? It's a normal, very normal. You wouldn't even be able to tell this is a magocracy outside of you had just came through like a probably Woodaccord, which is a town made entirely of one large magical tree that has been formed around all the structures, and then you're out here, and it's nice, nice sprawling hills. Maybe not quite as beautiful as the spring lands, or the mysterious jade forests of the winterlands, but this is still pretty all right, right? A little bit more calmer. You get attacked less by magical beasts out here. Your character, of course, is able to easily navigate your way up towards the Summerview Chateau. There's, of course, the Lord Devontiel Sparta is standing to greet you. He doesn't quite notice that you're there until you start getting closer. Your character's a lot more quiet, a lot more slow moving, or at least you seem to move in with the foliage, probably subconsciously, growing up in the winterlands of Mithras. As you arrive, he notices you, surprised. He says, of course, you must be Demolus Winter?
That is correct.
Yes, it was tricky getting a message out to your people. I do not have many contacts within the lands of Mithras. I am Devontiel Sparta, Viscount, Regent of the Lord Stephen Amber's lands until, it has been able to be properly passed on to one of his children or associated cousins. Inside, you will find many of your half-brothers and sisters. You will, of course, you will have to sign a geas. I believe this is not unfamiliar to you, as you are from the lands of the Fae. It is only for the reading. Of course, if you are willing to sign it, I have a horse and coins to speed your passage back to wherever it is you came from or wish to go. But to be able to hear the reading and participate, you will have to sign the geas. It is a non-disclosure of terms. It will make more sense as I will be there to read. Do you have any questions, Demolus?
So, I am interested in knowing how you found it.
Yes. Your father, the Lord Stephen Amber, kept extensive journals on his children and had paid lords and ladies to, when he found out about them, to keep track of them. He almost obsessively kept track of anyone with his blood in their veins. There were 30 of you in total that I was able to find through the sprawling and detailed accounts of your upbringing. He didn't seem, though distant, not ignorant of his brood.
Very well.
Well, are there any other questions?
Not at the moment.
Of course. And of course, while you stay here, I do have an understanding with the Winter King of your stay here. So, have a good time.
Thank you.
Yes. He will take a step back and allow you to go in, signing the gears. All right. Now we're getting ready for everyone to be in the same will reading. We'll take, since it is the top of the hour, let's take a 5-minute break, and then we will begin with a group scene. And then, after the group scene, the town and the estate are yours. I take my hands off, the box texts are done, and then you will have free reign of this area.
Justine, I see you're in the notes.
We'll be right back.
Sorry. You're in the notes too. Feel free to add anything or change anything that you want. I usually just kind of word vomit.
Okay, we are right back. So, to set the scene, you guys find yourselves with many other people in the room, of various races, combinations, always with human, right? There are half Goliaths here. There are half orcs here, half dwarves, half elves. There are just plain humans. All of you with conspicuous traits, right? All of you have obviously of half human origin, and all of you have maybe like a same eye color or similar nose features, pieces of Stephen Amber, right? You carry whatever feature you think looks like Stephen Amber's. That might be something that maybe you describe later, or you guys all conspire on, right? Obviously, I've put a picture of what the older Lord Stephen Amber would look like, but what those features are entirely up to you as players. The room is a 30 by 60 foot room. It is a large ballroom. It does have a offset of a 10 by 30 foot stage. Standing on the stage in front of a dais is, of course, Devontiel Sparta. There are many chairs set up. There's a small buffet that's set up in the corner with no servant to actually serve the food. But you do notice as you get close to it, there are invisible servants, right? As you've kind of come in here, you notice that probably the sparse members of physical servants is because he has magical servants, which are invisible servitors who might speak to you in low whispers and carry trays, pick up things, sweep with brooms. Is the first little spell, invisible servant. But it's throughout, so there's a lot of these little things there. There, of course, this room, much like any other, the walls are painted in a darker blackish color with red trim, which seems to be the color of his house and signet, as he is a viscount under the Stephen, the Amber House, and the Amber House seal is that of a phoenix. Devontiel Sparta will, of course, stand up. Behind the dais, he has a wine glass. Ding, 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 ding. Capture everyone's attention. The room grows silent as many similar featured faces turn towards Devonti. And he says, "Welcome, everyone in this room. He is, of course, has signed the Geas as well as myself. I am also a signatory. I will start with your distant father, Lord Stephen Amber, was a close friend of mine. I have been entrusted with his last words and will to his children. Your father, though distant, did care for you, enough to keep track of you, and, of course, to make sure that in some way you were looked after. In this will reading, there is only one prize. Emphasis on prize. Something that is to be won and gifted to you. The Lord Stephen Amber bequeaths his title, his castle, and his lands to his children, but only if they are able to bring back the signet ring of the Lord Stephen Amber. It is a very specific ring. It is a ring owned by the Cartholian government, gifted to him, an artifact, to show his connection to the Council of Nine. It is a phoenix ring with 3 large ruby ingots set unto it, uncut. This ring is somewhere on the Amber Estate. We know that much. It's somewhere there. But where, I cannot say. Normally, retrieving this ring would be an easy matter, but I am sad to say there is a reason why I've had you all sign Aegeus. At least the council has. Now, I'm sure I'm going to see many hands here not raised. Who here understands what an Escatarian is? Of course. Let me enlighten you. Wizardry, spellcasting, specifically with those who manipulate the weave, is not without its dangers. There are times where a wizard can push the boundaries of the weave, and the fraying of such may affect their mind. My dear friend Lord Stephen Amber was eccentric, a wizard obsessed with time manipulation and the weave of time. Sadly, 3 years ago, I noticed these signs within my friend. He secluded himself upon the estate with the rest of his family and locked the gates. 4 years ago, specifically in this region, night turned to day, day turned to night, for a 3-day period. The sun and stars were in conflict, but only for those within this region. I, of course, sent friends of mine northward to the castle, the Chateau d'Amberville, the heart, the Amber family where my friend resided. Only one returned. The Lord Amber has gone Escatarian. He has lost his mind. He has become a mad mage. I believe he has died. When an Escatarian dies, the psychic shockwave from them is in accordance in size to the power. Your father was an archmaster of time. He stood upon the Council of Nine as a shadow signatory of the old houses. The entirety of the estate, I believe, is under a menace of weave. The weave of magic has been torn there. Reality isn't quite what it should be. From my understanding as well, when the psychic explosion that happened when your father, Lord Stephen Amber, died, caused the other members, the other magical casters of the Amber family, your cousins, who were at the chateau, to also go mad and go Escatarian. Whether they have lived or died, I do not know. But when they do die, the psychic ripples, the rips upon the weave that will happen could permanently turn a person into a fish that talks and flies around. They rip at reality itself, perhaps even causing permanent anti-magic areas, or areas where magic does what it should not. Obviously, Escatarians are a dangerous thing. The government purposely hunts them down. The reason why the government has not sent forces here is because of the standing of the Lord Stephen Amber and the family. The d'Amberville family is one of the oldest houses in Arthur, with a lineage dating back through the Falarian noble house before the split of Carthal and Ferellis, and the humans came upon the world of Golosy. Yes, question.
Well, 2 questions. 1, can we ask questions now, or do we have to wait until the end?
Please wait till the end. Many of your questions might be answered by this. The council has added a extra requirement to gaining the seat of power, and they are willing to give it to a foreigner, as long as that foreigner is willing to accept permanent allegiance to Carthol. Which is why I have been able to gather in all of my dear friends' children. You are not bastards in my eyes. I want to afford you the opportunity to inherit your father's estate. First, you must find the ring, and you must bring back the body of Lord Stephen Amber. The council believes that they can undo the damage to the weave by the primary caster. They are able to possibly use the remnants of what energies lie upon his corpse to perhaps undo the dangerous unweaving of magic and manipulation of it around the Amber estate. I'm afraid the Amber seat is covered in miswoven magic and damaged weave. Additionally, many of your cousins have gone mad. They are not the people they were. They have lost their minds. Perhaps there might be some of them that were less magically inclined, or that were able to resist becoming Escatarian themselves. The one survivor of the party who did come back did report that several of them were mad. Escatarian doesn't mean that they're dangerous. It just means that the reality of them has left them. There is a third issue as well. As your father was a time mage, he was bound by additional limitations. It is my understanding that one of the exonerables has taken seat and is walking around the estate. If and exonerables are primaries of nature. This one specifically, time. They are jokingly called the Time Police. I believe it is looking for Lord Stephen Amber as well, and his brood. I don't believe it can tell the difference between those with his blood and him himself. I would be careful walking around the estate, not only because it is filled with Escatarians, damages to the weave that have caused creatures that normally would not exist to exist there, and exist in delusionary states. There is also one of these creatures walking around who will try to kill you. That is why I afford each of you, now that you have this knowledge, money, and you can leave if you would like. Of course, I am not able to give you full inheritance, only a partial sum of coin, and that is all I can afford you. It is from my personal holdings, but it is I would hate to see his children. I would hate to send my best friend's children to the deaths. But I would also be equally reminiscent to not afford you the heroic opportunity to gain and share together in power.
So slightly more suicidal than raiding the shores of Thay.
We knew that coming in.
It's true.
Well, for those of you, and if you are your father's children, I believe your blood boils with opportunity. I have never seen one of him or his brood shy away from a fight. I have many scars over the years to show for that. Anyway, the floor is yours. I am, of course, free to answer any questions. And keep in mind, anything you learn here is under the Geas. You can speak with each other about it, but not others, for it would bring shame to the Carthalian line and the Council of Nine. If they were to learn, other people were to learn that one of their own became Escatarian.
The minute he said questions, her hand shot right back up. Like,
oh, of course. Your name again?
Uzila?
Azulia. Ah, yes.
Uzila.
Ah, Azulia.
Yeah. This is gonna be fun, Tony, thanks.
I think he's gonna fail at your name
Every time. Okay, so this Escatarian thing. So, if casters, magic users, or say magic items were to approach and enter said estate, are we still impacted by this? Do we go mad? Is there a chance?
There's only a chance of going mad and become Escatarian when you kill another Escatarian around you. So if you were to expire one of your family members that has gone mad, there is a chance you yourself could possibly be caught up in the misweave. When they die, there is a psychic nas that washes over in a radius equivalent to the power, and it may. The stronger you are magic, the more it may stick to you.
So it's like a magnet.
Yes.
Cool. That's a problem. And it doesn't affect magical items at all, just the mind?
No, it warps reality itself. Once again, it could turn you into a magical talking fish that walks around and thinks its name is Timmy.
I know a legend about a guy named Morty who did that to sheep. But what about, is there a cure? Like, can we fix them? If we knock them out and basically reset the brain, does it work?
There is a possibility. They believe that if you are able to, the one that infected them is the one that can undo it. They believe if you are able to find the corpse of your late father, that could be used to undo the process of the misweave in the area and possibly bring back those members of your family that have gone mad.
It's gonna be hard not to kill them.
So it's sneaking around the manor.
Yeah. Okay.
We gotta find somebody who's good at that.
Yeah,
Tony,
Yes.
has Sebastian ever heard of punching somebody to the point where they regain their consciousness? That seems like the backwards way of doing it.
Punching them back into sanity?
Yeah.
Sadly, not for this. Your character is very well of what an Escatarian is. There are very few people that have come back from it. It is possible, but it does involve undoing the magic from the caster, much like a curse, right? But it is think of like somebody being irradiated with radiation, right?
Right.
There's therapy.
Version from it, but there's a process.
There's a long, complicated, expensive process.
That I don't know how to do, although I know it's possible and it can be done.
It can be done. It requires a very specialized skill.
So when Uzilla, is that correct?
Yeah.
Uzilla?
Yeah.
When she makes these comments, Sebastian's trying very hard to keep a straight face. Like he's somewhat amused, but it's like, okay, he thinks it's simple. Like it's on his face, but he's trying really hard to keep it off his face.
Her mentality right now is, if I hit him hard enough in the back of the head, it'll jar them out of whatever this is. You know, by work.
You might hear him say, and feel free to roll for it, or unless someone wants to give it, I'm happy to give it to you. If you're close enough, he's saying under his breath, that's how that works.
Okay, so how I imagine this happens is, I lean over to you and say, just hit them hard enough, it'll reset their head. And then you say that from, like, what, behind us? And I turn and I go, oh.
That's not how that works.
Oh, but you know how to fix it.
I know it can be fixed. I also know that a blow to the back of the head is not the way.
Oh. Well, at least it'll shut them up if something, if, you know, it'll stop them from
That
casting.
might do. If you hit them too hard, it might shut them up permanently.
Oh, we're really good at hitting
I'm gonna
things
use
in
the
the back of the
bathroom. You
head.
guys
So
keep role
Let's
playing.
see if we can get some of those bindings. Oh, those are really hard to.
those are
hard to get where we're from.
Yeah,
But they're so worth it.
we can see when we're done with all of this. We can see about going into town and getting supplies.
And this is a country full of wizards and casters. They've got to have those kinds of things.
She'll keep turning in her chair, assuming it's a swivel chair.
we both look right back at you.
Want to come with?
To do what? I'm sorry, I did not understand a word that you said.
We're gonna make some binders, and they're kind of whisper talking to you while the rest of the things are still going on.
That's fine.
Some binders. We're gonna go into town after this and see if we can get supplies.
Binders like folders that you put paper in, binders like manacles you hold someone down with, or binders like things you wrap to make
Manacles that
Well, like
shut off ability to cast.
a little bit of 2 and a little bit of 3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm certain there are places here in town that can help you with that.
Would you want to come with?
You seem to know what's going on around here, so.
I'm going to allies. I'm definitely going in there. Are you going in there?
Oh, for sure.
Well, yeah.
Obviously.
Like I said, it's only slightly more suicidal than raiding Fae.
We are whisper talking.
We've also done that a few times, so.
But normal.
You raided Faye.
Oh God, yeah.
Yes. Be more than happy to provide you with a guide around town.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got my thugs. Yay! That's gonna blow up in my face.
100% yes.
The sad part is, neither of us are actually thugs.
No, not even a little bit.
I figured that.
Yeah, we don't look strong.
So real quick, your characters are actually, is that your badger?
Yeah. Beast hides.
I'm talking to badgers.
Yeah.
Well, beast
Badger
hides.
people.
Anthropomorphic badgers, essentially.
Incidental Thug is the name of my bardic orchestra.
Nice.
Okay.
I dig it. Next up on stage 2, Incidental Thug.
Right? Tell me wrong.
Oh.
I would be happy to work with you and find what you need.
Great.
I didn't catch your name.
Uzila and go ahead.
Vitar. And Uzuli.
And you are.
Sebastian.
It's nice to meet you, Sebastian. And she'll turn around and offer to shake your hand.
Are claws out?
She will. When you look at it, she'll retract them. Sorry, I'm not used to this. I'm told it's the custom here.
That's why I wear gloves.
For those of, I appreciate that. Thank you. And then I'll be like, I want to see if anyone else is going to speak. Cause let's see if we can get some wisdom from anybody else.
Sure.
And he'll turn back towards the podium or whoever else is up.
Yeah, we'll turn back around.
Devante is sipping wine, waiting for any questions people have.
Are people talking amongst themselves, or were we just really, really rude right there?
Well, I'm sure people are whispering around and talking.
Okay.
See the guy that's kind of walking very silently, just kind of look over like, we could use him.
Who? Oh my God, where did he come from?
Not even trying to hide, but she totally missed you.
I'm not perceptive. It's gonna track. I'm gonna lose you a lot.
Ooh, not that one. Maybe. Pointing over at Justine's character.
You hear us talking about you.
By the way, very obviously pointing directly at you. Just like whispering to his sister.
Of course, there are members of the family that are believed to be on the estate. There's your uncle Simon, your cousins Jean-Louis, Isabel, and Claude.
No, you gotta slow down.
Oh, it's actually.
Oh, okay. Oh, those are the ones that are actually in the estate. Okay, all right, cool. Never mind.
There is, of course, your quarter brothers and sisters. There is, of course, Annie and Richard. there's of course Madame Camilla is of course one of your distant quarter brothers and sisters, not blood related but through marriage, as Catherine and Henry also were in a throuple with Adeline. Unofficially, that was, of course, Lord Stephen Amber's direct wife that he had no direct children with outside of the throuple.
Ironic.
And of course, there are your nephews and nieces, Madeline, Charles, Nicole, and Mary Teresa.
Let's finish the list, but her hand went straight up.
Yes, of course.
Do we know which of those people are magical? Do we have any idea? And do we know for sure if they're dead? Any idea?
No idea, and all of them are magical. Every member of the Amber family proper is instructed in magics and is required to at least be able to manipulate the first wave of magic. And the Amber family is deeply known to be some of the most potent timergists and, of course, gravitationalists and transmutists that exist on Carthol. A deep and noble house, and of course, there are many. It's a large house. There has never been a concern for the line becoming extinguished.
Sorry, time transmute and
Gravitation.
gravitation.
That would make sense.
They always seem to work on the fringe, but your father, Lord Stephen Amber, was a very well-known alchemist, dealing specifically in exotic potions and other whatnot. Oh, additionally, I believe it might be a question. Any riches you find on the estate, of course, are yours. Feel free to, if you come across a large sack of coins, if it's on the estate, it of course belongs to the family Amber. Of course, you would have to discuss this with your cousins if you run across them, but they're not in the right mind, so good luck! And no, I am not coming onto the estate. I am staying as regent. If all turns to hell in a handbasket, someone has to watch over the people. And if I was to expire this without someone taking the lands, a local family might contest it and take the lands from you. Of course, Fitzamber.
So you were staying back more as an arbiter? You'll be the person who makes the decision as to who is successfully brought back the ring and the body?
Correct.
Good to know. I trust you. Excellent. When can we enter?
Anytime. Just remember that discretion is utmost concern. You are not to discuss what is happening. The people of Innsmeet generally know that you're here to contest and gain ownership, but the details of such I would ask that you do not discuss with the common folk. Common folk might spread, and of course there's the gears, which can prove fatal.
Well, again, we know the Gias' terms, is that correct?
Yeah, it was on the wall.
Yeah. The Gias' terms are generally, you're not allowed to speak about anything that happens in this room.
To anyone ever, or anyone outside this room?
Anyone outside this room. So other party members.
Important clarification. If we leave this room and I turn to them, so when do we get started? That would be bad.
Yeah, basically, as a party you could talk to, but you can't go to the local merchant like, oh, my cousin who's turned to an Escatarian at the estate up there, I got this magical item from, how much can I get from it? Your head would then explode.
This is how we go through 6 characters a pop.
Oh my god.
That's how you go through this. I'm trying to get through this in one shot.
There's there's this horrible movie. I can't remember, like Mom and Dad get abducted by aliens or something like that.
Oh my god!
And the aliens are
evil.
yeah, the aliens are evil, are dumb, and they leave a grenade that'll disintegrate you if you touch it. It says "Do not touch." So they just leave a trap for the army, and the army like runs out of people because they keep touching the grenade. It's anyway.
I think it's called Time Bandits.
Yeah, it probably.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes, it is.
Anyway, back to you. It's free roleplay. I am sitting here as Lord Devontae of Sparta, but outside of that, the room is yours.
Is this at the time like everybody's getting up and moving around and talking?
Everyone's getting moving
Okay.
around, talking. So people are going to obviously consolidating in different groups.
Okay. I look around.
Looking at the Badger twins, can I tell a rough idea of what kind of class they might be?
That is a question between you and them. What do you think they would be able to tell what you are from your dress? Do you feel like an insight check or an investigation would be appropriate for that?
If you look close enough, right at like my character's hairline, you may actually see the fur seems to be almost designed in a specific way that almost looks like scales that hair grew through.
Mm-hmm. You'll see some of those patches like that on my arm. I think it would be a really easy insight check.
Especially after, while he was talking about that kind of stuff, about like the power of the Amber family, my character did specifically whisper to his sister something about that's why we might have dragon blood in our family.
Yeah.
Okay. I only rolled a 10.
Oh, that's
we're low level characters.
No, that's easy enough.
We aren't being very discreet.
She's a sorcerer. We're both sorcerers.
Yeah.
Good. So scales like the way it's grown is in a scale like pattern, and it's not by design; it's by blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you look closely at him, and it's more obvious than that, there's a small drum to the side. He's wearing leather armor and he's got a rapier. Do the math.
Wait, are you a bard?
He's playing a bard.
I know. I have been saying for years that bards suck. I have not played a bard since 1981.
Because you're wrong.
This is who I live with.
Oh. Like, you can see her hackles, like, she's trying really hard not to snarl, but she's failing really bad at it, because her lips are, like, twitching, and she's like...
Something wrong?
I mean, come on, you know Dad was a bard.
Dad was a slut!
Not that Dad.
Yeah... Alright.
Mom had a type.
Mom had... Yeah. Yeah.
So we need to find a few more for now. Since I am not someone I would consider to be formidable combatant.
Sure.
You know, I was
background
thinking
is in
about that.
knowledge, and specifically knowledge of this family.
Do we want to have people who are loud and clunky, or a bunch of people that can sneak around and not have to get into the direct combat if we can avoid it?
Are you saying that out loud? By chance?
Yeah.
You just did.
I say I might be able.
Oh my god! You just popped out of nowhere!
You are my new favorite person.
Wow. Did I know him first? Me too.
My perception is super bad, so like she lost track of him, he disappeared.
I've got expertise in perception, but I really shouldn't.
It's kind of like every creature that has like any kind of more pronounced sensor, like nose, mouth kind of sensory, is like half their brain is taken up with everything that they're taking in, and so they seem to have very little actual perception of anything.
Sorry. Yeah. You just popped out of nowhere. Are you
Ash knows
I
how
do
to
that
use
to
it.
people.
Oh, so that's like your shtick. Cool. You want to do that with us?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
I'm gonna try really hard not to like jump scream when you do that in the estate. Okay.
Okay.
Don't do it.
Well, if you're trying to be sneaky, jump screaming in the estate's probably the last thing you want to do.
Right. I'm gonna try real hard to not lose track of you. You don't look too sneaky. Do you want to come?
That's quite the compliment, thank you.
It's meant to be.
Well, if you're looking for sneaky types, no, it's not, but better to be safe together than sorry apart.
I'm pretty sure the only reason she saw you is because she was watching you and lost track of him.
Is she a dwarf?
She's half dwarf. Yeah, she's 4'2".
She's a half dwarf.
Yeah, she's
Kind of
half dwarf.
story. Yeah.
Okay, and Demalis is a half elf?
Yes.
A full elf?
It happened.
Do we see either one of you wearing armor?
Half drow if you want to be.
Specific.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Are you wearing armor or like leathers or?
Just
He'll be on.
I don't know.
Probably just your tunic, really. 'Cause
Yeah.
You're naturally dodgy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tamar's wearing kind of some well-worn leather armor pieces. Maybe there's more underneath the clothes. You know, little hard to tell for sure.
So what do you do? I mean, other than like disappear and pop out of nowhere, you're sneaky.
I'm easy to miss.
I've seen that.
Yeah. And then sometimes I make other people disappear.
Okay, that's gonna come in handy. And then she'll look at Tamar. What do you do?
I'm a lot more lithe than you would think. I'm also easy to overlook.
Oh.
I'm
Okay.
6'1", you're 4'2"?
Yeah.
You're the tallest person in this party by like 2 feet.
I'm Gulliver, what the hell?
So we're all standing
Now
around
you know how it feels, bitch.
I mean, you look strong. Like, she's looking up at you. You look real strong. Because I think we're only 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how tall is Demaris?
About 5'7" ish.
Okay, so you're closer.
Alright, 6'3", 5'7", and 4'2".
So we're nice. We're nice, like,
Yeah, we're in a slope. If we ever need to climb up something, we just walk up each other.
yeah.
Make a nice 45-degree angle.
Yeah!
Yeah.
You guys, clearly this is meant to be, simply based on the angles.
I mean, be truthful. We could actually make even her look tall if we wanted to.
I mean, if we wanted to. Dude, that's for later.
Yeah.
No one's ever offered to make me look tall.
Really? And that's when I'll shift.
That was for later! You shift into a battery.
Do you do that on command? Or
Yeah.
like if you get really stressed out, do you do that?
You're a bit. I mean, kind of yes to potentially both.
As a badger, not since I was like 10.
Remember that one time we made the one kid badger himself, like in the middle of training?
Do I actually understand badger? Or did it just sound a whole lot like "Rar-rar-rar-rar"?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds, yeah.
Now, can you do other animal shapes? Or
No,
is
that's
it
racist. I don't actually know. I have to go back.
Technically, I think the word is bigoted, but close.
Yeah. You see the...
Specious.
Yeah. It doesn't say specifically badger. Tony, what's the ruling on that? It says a more bestial appearance.
What do you mean, like the way you look?
Or do we only go to badger?
Are you talking about when you transform?
Yeah, our shifting.
Yeah, you just shift in a badger.
Okay, so, yeah. Yeah. We look like that. I mean, he's got more white up here, but yeah.
It's funny, when he transforms, most of his black fur just turns white, and he has 2 black stripes. Very much think of like an American badger.
Okay.
What's
So,
American?
You're aware, Badger?
No, this is
No,
not
I
like...
got that.
This
I
is,
think he's aware that he's a badger.
we are aware we are badgers, but we're not lycanthropes, if that's what you mean. That's racist.
Yes, that is what I meant.
By the way, you notice he's inching farther and farther away from her with this weird, disgusted look on his face.
From me?
Which her?
Me.
Okay.
I pull you back by your tail.
Ah!
No, you have to stay here for
Okay,
this.
so, before we rip off limbs, when do you wish to leave?
Well, we want to go to town and see if we can find some materials to make those binders. I
So
don't
you
know.
are determined to capture Presbyterians.
Well, if we can subdue them. I mean, basically, you know what we could do? Tie them up and toss them in a closet or a room. That way they're not doing anything. They're, safe-ish. And then we... Yeah?
Is your theory that you're going to collect them?
No.
Shift back.
I don't want to collect them. I just don't want to kill them. You deserve that.
Why do you have that on you?
Brought it from
At
home.
what point do you make the decision that death may be necessary?
If we've exhausted all other options, but I mean,
The whole, if they explode and we could go mad thing, I'd rather avoid that if we could.
yeah. Well, I mean, technically they're family, so I don't want to kill them if we don't have to. I realize it might happen. There could be consequences. I mean, that's half the fun, right? And she gives a really toothy smile.
Half the fun is consequences?
Half the fun is killing them?
The risk. The challenge. Do you want to go to town? Do you need anything?
I could go to town and look around. I don't know that I need anything at the moment.
Tony, it's like late afternoon, evening, right?
Yeah.
Do we want to maybe go to the estate tomorrow? Like, we're gonna run to town, see what we can do to build the things that we need, and then tomorrow morning, bright and early, head off to the estate?
Do you have plans? Like schematics?
A map? No.
No, of these things that you're going to make.
Oh, the
Binders.
the binding shackles?
We made
Yes.
them before, haven't we?
No, we've gotten them when we're going on raids before, especially when we know there's a lot of mages that could make the clan money.
Right. So we're gonna attempt to make them blind.
I don't know if that'd be a great idea.
So what are we doing then?
Remember the last time that somebody used ones that weren't quite made right and I figure in a country full of mages and wizards,
But do you think
the
they sell out
local
of town?
authority might have such things.
Right? They might. That's very logical.
We could go ask the Viscount, see if they've got any,
True.
We just, yeah. At that point, she will walk off and go to the Viscount.
Okay. The Viscount's around. He's like, yes, can I help you?
Curious if you have any binding shackles for casters?
Do not. I normally do not imprison anyone. You would have to inquire with the blacksmith. Otto in town might have some. He's technically the town's. He leads the local guard.
Oh, okay. So he's at like the guardhouse or
You
like.
might be able to buy some off him. Of course, he might be very curious on why you're trying to buy binding shackles, and under the gears that might prove difficult to explain.
Sure.
But you can free Cocklebury Inn and Tavern is where he is located.
Okay. Thank you. She comes back.
He's an ally.
Oh, you say that right away. Okay.
Yeah, he's an ally.
Oh, you know him. Let's go talk to him.
He might as well be the de facto mayor of town. He'll come to him with their problems. He's a good man.
Okay.
He's also not against cracking heads when necessary, and I'd like to make certain they're not ours. He and I are in good terms.
So what else can you tell me about him? Does he have anything he likes or dislikes?
Yes, he dislikes chaos. He likes order.
Okay.
We just tell him you're crazy, and sometimes we have to put you down for a while.
No,
That's
that'd be a
great
bad idea.
reason.
I think that'd be a
That is a
horrible
plan.
idea.
I think it's a great idea.
Playing crazy might work at home.
I appreciate your enthusiasm.
I said sometimes you go crazy. Well, I mean, you know him. If you were to ask him for some binding shackles,
If he has any, he may be able to help me.
great, let's go.
If you'd like, I'm more than happy to go down there and talk to him privately while the rest of you pick up the rest of the supplies we might need.
Oh, sure.
For instance, we don't know how long we'll be out.
True.
And the food itself, particularly if there's a temporal magic, may have already spoiled. So
we go to the
rations.
Yeah, we'll go to the general store, pick up some stuff. I mean, we've got a couple of rations left over from the trip here. Do some quick shopping, and then, so what? You just want to meet back here tonight, and then tomorrow morning head off?
I think it sounds wise.
Okay.
Sounds like a logical course of action.
Okay.
So, divide and conquer, or I guess you and I are going to, like, the shop, the general store-ish.
Yeah.
And then, where are you going?
Had no real plans. I'd maybe go with you, see the community.
Sure. Okay. Alright, so we'll meet back here, and then go in the morning? Tamar, where are you going?
Let's go talk about supplies.
Okay. So, most of us are going shopping for supplies.
Okay. There is a general store in town. You guys do have the map.
Right.
There's a general store in town. There's the inn, which is Area 7. You have, of course, there's a smithy in town. There is a local church, but it's probably not up in you guys' alley. Yeah, those areas would probably have something. Obviously, the general store, the smithy, and the inn are probably closest to what you might need, unless you want to get some. The Illuminator's house might have things like candles and stuff like that.
And remind me, we get to stay in the estate tonight.
You get to stay at the chateau.
At the chateau tonight.
Tonight for free. After that, you do have to find your own.
Right. So
lodging.
We're gonna head to. Other than Sebastian, the rest of us are gonna go to the general store first.
Okay, and Sebastian, you're going to.
I have to talk with my uncle.
Okay, I'll run the general store scene, and then I'll run the scene with Otto. So you are going to the general store. Your character is able to easily give them directions. You characters know. Okay. The general store. This is a long and narrow building. This ends meets only store and grocer. It is owned and operated by Charles Sands. Charles Sands appears to be He is a reasonable human, human male. Description: he is tall, thin, with gray hair. That looks a little wild and unruly. And he wears work boots and pants. He's about 30 years old. As you guys kind of come to the general store, it is a long, thin building, built kind of like a lopsided U. Obviously, each side of the main long building looks to be storerooms, right? With much goods. There is one major door that is open, that has an open sign just above it. It has the symbol of a barrel just below it. For those that are not people of letters or cannot speak the language, to be able to know this is a general store. The general store does not have a specific name, just called the general store. As you walk inside, this tall, by tall I mean he's like maybe 6 foot, slender man named Carl with very pepperish hair will greet you and he'll say, "Well, welcome to the general store. Y'all look like an exotic bunch. My name's Carl. Charles, can I help you? Do you speak my language?"
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, we
Oh,
did.
good. I had a couple others come in here wanting supplies but couldn't speak the tongue. Had some trouble. Exotic looking fellas. There's a lot of visitors in town. Normally people don't come up by this way. Can I inquire what you all here?
Passing through.
Passing through. Well, not many people pass through. This is more of like an end line within the valleys. But glad to see y'all here. What is it that I can help you with? This is a general store. I do take in orders. I just had a lot of hay just get dropped off recently, and I'm fresh on stores. I got food. I got obviously since you're on the travel. I got a wheelwright that just came in. Got some extra wheels. Got a whole wagon out back too. Ain't put it together yet though. Came in a big box. Came from my Kia up north.
They have impossible directions to follow.
Oh well, I'm not a man of letters. I had to have my wife up there write the sign. Apologies there, but I keep it all in the trap, just like my pa and my pa's did. Anyway, I've been rambling on a bit too much. Glad to see some customers here and some colorful faces. For a second, I was worried that that animals had become sentient and walk around. But you know what? I have never been to Nitterdron before. Heard you're like. I assume you're one of them Nitterdronians.
What gave that away?
That accent is real close to something else.
You know, it's something in the face, you know? Something in the face.
Yeah.
I never would have guessed.
Oh boy.
I'm trying really hard not to laugh and break the thing. I'm so sorry if I sound too loud here. I'm going to mute myself right now.
Can I touch your hair? Is that okay? I'm curious.
She'll pull her braid around and give the end.
That is the funniest feeling little thing. All
but
right,
it's soft, right?
I know, right? So thick too. I wish I had your hair, especially given some of my circumstances.
Well, we're actually here to do some trading and get some supplies. We need rations and she'll list off other just travel stuff.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what else everybody else is looking for, but
okay. Make a list. What do you want? What do y'all want? You want some rations? I got fresh barrel, dried berries and cheeses, and some dried meats that I've been sacking up in little satchels.
Dried meat, dried cheese. Do you have any unleavened bread? Crackers?
Yeah. I got some hardtack. It swells up pretty good too. It's fairly fresh, right? You just put a little bit of water in there. You can boil it up, turn yourself into some tack stew.
Do you have any dried apples?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. There is right by the graveyard, the cemetery, not a graveyard. Right, it does have an attached church. There's a little orchard out that way, and we get fresh apples, and then we do tend to dry off fruits in preparation for winter. Ooh. You looking for some dried apple chips? I can.
Yep.
I can.
Dried apples, hardtack,
Mm-hmm.
dried meat.
Mm-hmm.
All that.
Pemmican?
Say again.
Pemmican?
Hammer what?
I would say that's probably a no.
All right.
You don't say okay. I rope, ball bearings, water skin, flint, torches. Curious if you have any sending stones or any sort of magical items that you have for travelers or anything like that.
No, ma'am. This is general store. I don't. I'm not a wizard.
Sure.
Honestly, I wouldn't even know what one of those looks like.
That's okay. But the rope, ball bearings, water skin, flint, torches.
Yeah, I got several hemps, heap rope. None of that fine silk and stuff, right? But I have seen it, and I traded in some before, but it's hard to keep around here. We don't have many silk production. Yeah, ball bearings. I have plenty of those. We turn it all the scrap from the blacksmiths down south. He sends this way. We use those in wheels sometimes to get them rolling. And we have all of those. We got some small kits together if you need anything. Leatherworking supplies. I have smithing supplies. I've got, of course, herbalism kits for grabbing herbal supplies. Medical kits. I do have some. We do produce quite a few, and we ship those down off east for the eastern front for the war effort. Yeah, I have all of those. So go ahead and put that list together for me. My wife is a person of letters, and she does the arithmetic, and I'll go get that. She's out back. I'll go get her. Talks to a smaller woman who has more short blonde hair.
Okay, I'm putting together a list. So we want the dried apples, the hard cheese, the leaven bread.
So rations. How many rations are you buying, essentially?
Tony?
Yeah.
Justine got a phone call from work. She sent it to the chat, but I don't think she knows no one.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
She would have it.
Barrel is 50 rations, yeah?
One barrel is 50 rations.
So one barrel.
Yeah, if you want a barrel of rations for the group.
Because divide that.
Each ration is generally about 4 copper. Mm-hmm. So since 50 times 4, you're buying in a barrel, reduce the cost by 1, so it's 3 times 50. So that would be 150 copper.
Okay.
For a barrel of rations,
So
which is 50.
Gold, 5 silver.
Well, hold on, because we're going to get the whole list.
Yeah.
Or am I doing my math wrong?
No. Yeah.
1 gold's 100.
Positive metagaming here, because I want to make sure I get the full list, and I'm just going to send you a chat.
Oh, yeah, send me a chat.
Barrel of rations, rope, I'm going to say 2 hemp rope.
2 50-foot hemp rope, okay.
Hemp rope. A bag of ball bearings, 1 extra water skin, flint, torches, a flask of oil, medkit time 5, dried apples, hard cheeses, flatbread. What else am I missing from what we talked about, guys?
Wouldn't happen to have potions, would he? Otherwise, we can stop by the local.
No. Okay.
Stop by the church. They might have somebody that does that.
D&D zip ties.
Does he have zip ties? No.
I'm afraid I do not have manacles. You'd have to talk to the blacksmith.
Do we need any herbal type supplies?
Herbalist kit?
An herbalist kit. I do have one of those.
Do you have any herbs?
Herbs? I do have some rough herbs around. If you're looking specifically for herbs, though, you're probably going to have to talk to Enith. Enith is a local herbalist. She and a healer woman outside of the faith. She is a midwife, and she has many herbs, and she does herb shop. And when I do need things specifically for the medical kits, I'll employ her expertise. I can't tell one wheat leaf from another, to be honest. Never really had much of a green tongue or a green thumb. Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm. It's a thumb.
Yep.
Sorry, again, positive metagaming. I added the list to the group chat on Facebook.
Okay.
Just if I missed anything, let me know.
Did you do it on group chat or did you do it on Messenger?
Messenger, the chat, the
Okay.
Facebook Messenger
Okay.
chat. Yeah.
I have that on my computer.
Okay, I just want to make sure you do, Jen.
Yep.
Jen doesn't
Oh.
use a lot of Facebook or Messenger.
I don't. Yeah, I
Okay.
don't use Facebook.
Sorry
I
about
try my
that.
best to let her know what's going on.
So again, the barrel rations, hempen rope ×2, ball bearings, water skin, flint, torches, flask of oil, med kit ×5, dried apples, hard cheeses, flatbread or leaven bread, and herbalist kit.
Okay, so let me do some quick math.
Well, I just want to verify before you do math
Oh, yeah, yeah.
if there's anything else that anybody else wants. No?
A grappling hook.
From the general store? Okay. Tony, does he have a grappling hook?
You can get a climber's kit. I think a grappling hook isn't in there, but climber's kit is.
Okay.
That's part of the whole thing.
Might be a good idea to have.
Add what, 1 or 2?
One.
Well, climber's kit?
Yeah.
Anybody else want a climber's kit added?
I'm not there, sadly.
Go ahead and add one from my side.
Let's just see what the cost is for 5. That way it's one for everybody. Is Sarah going to be playing with us, or is she not? Because it'd be 6 then. I want to make sure we're including...
She might. I'll talk to her. She's just not feeling well.
Nope, I get that. We'll say 5, but
Okay.
if she does decide, then we've
We'll
upped
change
it
it
to
to
6.
6.
Cool.
Okay.
Same thing with the med kits. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
That's the list.
Give me a second. That is 150, 170, 180. How many torches?
5. Let's just go by group numbers.
Okay, so just 5 more torches. So
Yeah, just basically one for
190.
everybody.
200, 250, and those dried apples and stuff, that'll just be a part of the rations.
Oh, okay.
So 250, 260, climbers kits are 15 each, so 260, 325. 325 copper.
Since we're buying so
Since
much.
we're buying so much, how about maybe a little bit of a bulk discount on the purchase?
300?
See, yeah, 3 even.
3 even?
Okay. Skylar, make a persuasion check.
All right.
Advantage.
No, on this one.
That's fine. Maybe some decent of this. So, sorry, my 13.
I'll take 5 copper off. Sound fair?
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah.
All right. Well, weight your corn. My wife will count it up, and then I'll gather up everything that you've asked for.
I give him the coin.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll take the coin. You guys have that stuff. Feel free to whoever divvy it out however you wish. Is there anything else you guys want at the general store?
I'm solid.
Okay. Do we want to go to the smithy? Or Ross, you had mentioned potions, maybe going to the church to see if they had that, or...
Yeah, maybe.
Sure.
Church or the herbalist. The herbalist we might be able to get.
Well, the herbalist
Two
is
or
out of
one.
town, isn't it?
Is it?
The herbalist is in town. It's he gave you a name, Enith.
Oops, sorry, which number was it?
Enith. He didn't tell you which house she lived in.
Oh.
12. 12.
Okay.
Out of character, it's house 12.
General.
Which I believe says herbalist on it. Yeah, 12. It's just right by the river, north, eastern side.
So if I have like poison kit, would I need anything more? Or is that
it's considered to have everything you need to create poison. Generally, it has enough for 10 charges of poison use on it. You can refill it with use of foraging for herbs or poisonous creatures, that kind of thing. You specifically with your alchemy know what you need to grab, where an herbalist knows like which herbs they need to grab and what the herbs do. You specifically can do, you can mix like herbs and like the excretion of like spider venom, and if you put it in together, it turns into like a thing.
Yeah.
So you're uniquely qualified for that. But the herbalist you could probably poke and get like, belladonna and stuff like that. And know what to ask for and make potions and whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah. The herbalist might have potions. Church might have potions. Different make.
Right. As we're leaving the general store, I'll look to you and see. You said the church might. Do you want to go there first?
Okay. Sure.
As you guys are getting ready. Oh, sorry.
Sorry. The mentioned a graveyard. Is that by the church or?
Maybe. I don't know. It usually is, right?
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't have a map of the town. That's why, I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it for positive metagaming, but
for positive metagaming, I did specifically mention as you were going up towards the south gate, you saw a road heading towards the cemetery.
Yes.
Okay.
So that is outside of town, but it's to the south.
Okay.
But there is.
And it's a cemetery, not a graveyard, so it has a church attached.
Yes.
So there's a church in town and a church outside?
Yes, there's a church probably for entombment.
Okay.
The church inside, you're not sure which god it is.
Okay.
Obviously, Ray's character would know.
But he didn't come with.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to the 15, the church in town, because I imagine we would see like a steeple or something.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So as you guys get ready for that, Ray, your character, you arrive at the Cocklebury, the Cocklebur Inn and Tavern to speak with Otto. As you walk inside, Otto is currently cleaning glasses. It's getting into the evening, so actually he's probably busy with the. He's probably manning the tavern main room, specifically the bar, while a lot of the barmaids who are running around serving. There's a lot of people in town. Obviously, a lot of guests, very familiar faces that you saw from inside the estate proper. So some of your family are here, as well as there are a lot of travelers from outside of town. A lot of unfamiliar faces.
Oh, this could be. Walk right up to Otto. I'll staff the bar counter for a bit. I might need some supplies, but we can talk about it when the shift's over. Let me take care of this and let you get back to cooking.
Oh, yeah, no.
I assume this is something you've done before.
Yeah, he's like, oh, thank you. I need to get back there. Everyone's asking for. I'm running out of ram's meat, so I'm gonna go out and butcher a fresh ram and start. There's so many people here right now.
Don't panic. So many people were out there. I can't say anything else, but
they seem to be loose with the tips tonight. So obviously you're due your share. So
good night then. That's good night.
So you work a full shift.
And I'm listening in. I want to hear what the family's talking about. I don't want to say a word. I want to see if anyone dies because they're stupid.
Go ahead.
But I also want to see. I want to hear what everyone's talking about. Like if I work the top counter, I can get a lot of information here.
Roll me an investigation check.
You got it. I love rolling investigation. Life coins. Rolled a 19 plus 7 is a 26.
26. That is a
Yeah,
lot.
Look, I rolled a 4 for my first roll. I deserve that 19.
I'm going to give you a lot. Obviously, you briefly overhear some of your family members. They seem to be very cautious about what they say. Some of them actually just write back and forth to each other, almost worried about the kiss.
They did say talk. They didn't say not talk. They didn't say write.
But they're very careful, but they do talk to each other a lot. Within the tavern proper itself, there's a lot going on. Obviously, there is Leonore of Kutengroff has left her room, which is very unusual. She has permanent residence here, and she is a wizard that has locked herself in her room for quite some time. Obviously, she's probably left today because she's probably got done bathing in the bathhouse, and she's just kind of drying off and enjoying a fine meal of red wine and cheese. She specifically seems to be poring over a tome that has the Amberville sigil on it, and she seems to be talking quietly to two members of your family. And she seems to be having a conversation about a potion. She seems very curious about procuring the recipe of a potion that she describes as having a goldish color, and that seems to have like an interesting goldish flakes inside of it. And she warns them not to drink it, and that if they approach the potion and they start noticing a sense of deja vu as they touch it, that's the one she wants. And she's offering them 15,000 copper for a single vial. And you notice that she's pointing specifically at the tome that she has, and pointing towards like a picture reference. And that tome does have the Amberville seal upon it. You have never seen her with that book before. There
part
is.
Of the family? Is she part of the family?
You've never known her to be a member of the family.
And she wasn't at that event, so.
Yeah, she wasn't at that event. But she seems to be talking to two members of the family in specific, nondescript, your backups character.
Got it.
There is.
Thank you for jotting down these notes. I really appreciate that.
I'm trying.
There is a man named Horst here. Horst seems to. You get a study of this man. This guy is a fighter, right? He seems to be. This guy dresses like a merchant, but not many merchants wear that much armor and carry that many weapons. He seems loaded for bear, and not only that, the two large burly men with him, Gert and Viet, also seem very curious. You notice that they are also speaking with a member of your family, and they have a copy of a rough map of the estate, and they seem to be pointing at it and talking. The member of your family seems very dried-mouthed about any details, but he seems to be offering them money and riches, and like, oh, if you come with me, there'll be money. They seem to be mercenaries for hire, and they seem to be with that member of your family. Roll me an insight check.
Are you saying the member of the family trying to hire them, or the other way around? Insight, got it.
Yeah, insight.
12.
12.
I rolled an 8, I have a 4.
When you look at it, as you're looking at it, it does look like the member of your family is trying to hire them, but they seem to be really selling their services at almost a very discount price. Right? They seem to be very excited about just being able to get onto the estate, and Specifically, they're very curious about
Ow.
a member of the family named.
They meaning horse or they meaning the cousin?
Give me a second. I'm about to give you a verbal snippet. I just have to look for a.
I'm like Leslie, but I got a pen.
Yep.
He's faster with the keyboard.
I don't know about that.
Trust me, you can type 3 letters a second. I got one.
Oh.
Give me a second.
Congratulations, you've been accepted into the fold.
Oh, good. I was worried. Look, I have yet to get there and meet these dogs.
Well, when you come, you'll give them lots of goodies too, and they'll love you too.
Look, Justine and I have talked about we would love to try to get out there this summer.
Hi, BB.
If we can, we'll plan for a weekend when we have game, but we're going to try to get out there sometime this summer.
Awesome.
I am. There we go.
All right.
I gotta look where she is in the family hierarchy. Give me a second. It's Catherine.
Catherine?
Give me a second. I gotta look where Catherine is. Well, this is what they say. So, we hear your father been ain't around for a long time, but your mother-in-law is still there. I work for a man up north who is close friends with your mother-in-law, Catherine, and she specifically is a wizard of some repute. She possesses a magical suit of armor called the Mage Bane. Now, we for some time have been having a correspondence with her, trying to get this armor, but and she seemed to be very willing, but her correspondence stopped short about a year ago. And that's after Coin had changed hands for possession of this Mage Bane armor. We are here to regain ownership of goods that were sadly paid for, and it would be quite disgraceful if this was to reach other ears. Of course, being a member of the family, perhaps you're able to make introductions with Catherine. We would be willing to go with you onto the estate and pay you a hefty coin if you were just willing to let us in. We hear we need verbal permission to get past the walls, and we have to be escorted by a member of the family. And that's about what you kind of capture. They seem to be after something that has been paid for by them, but you then hear that there are rewards and that they need to be escorted by a member of the family to get onto the estate. And they seem to be very much trying to get this member of the family to allow them to come with them. And specifically, Catherine Amber is your stepmother.
Right, she's his wife.
Yes.
She's his wife. Well, she was his wife before she formed the Throathold.
Yes. So, that's what's going on there.
Okay.
Another thing that's going on is you hear some gossip amongst a couple people in town, and they're like, "Did you hear that Tommy Williams died the other day?" "Oh, I didn't hear anything about that." "Oh, yeah, they found him up by the river. Odd thing was he was pale as a ghost, and he was skinnier than he was when they left him. He had these weird marks upon his neck and just seemed dried of all blood. The church took in his body, but they had a closed casket. Strangest thing. And that's the rumors you hear.
Okay.
Your tip for the night is roll me 3d20.
Okay, hold on. 3d20. Of course, one of them's a 1. That's 7. 7 plus 5 plus 20. I rolled a natural 20 on one of them.
Hey, it's
32 copper.
32. 32 copper.
Yeah.
All right.
Good night. Take half of that and put it in the tip jar.
Okay. Well, that's your
back to barmaid.
that's your share from the barmaid. So that's everything split.
Right, but I have to go back over there, so.
Oh, right.
Right, so give them 16 of it back. I'll pocket 16.
Okay, you pocket 16.
They leave you a grand total of 26. Yay!
All right, so you guys, going back to the church, area 15.
Okay, hold on.
Yep.
I'm ready.
Area 15.
Hello.
Friar's House and Church. This L-shaped building is dedicated to the worship of. Give me a minute. Dedicated to the worship of Caindeth, god of time and youth. It appears to have been built in older times. So this is a very old building. Probably as old as the Amberville estate itself. It has a single clock built into the top of it that still runs and ticks. And it's a working physical mechanical clock. As you kind of get close, you can hear the ticking of it as it just keeps very loudly as large mechanical mechanisms twist on the inside. As it is late evening, more than likely they have let out service, and there is a Helena Get appears to be walking around. Depictions of magical sigils and runes, religious, celestial markings of time, and the marking of what does the symbol of Caeth have?
Excuse me.
Let me see. Associated with nightmares, shame, and health, worshipped by commoners, large. So the symbol of him is going to be a eye, and that a large spiraling figure around an eye with a clock wheel mechanism on it. As you approach, Helena Gent is outside, probably sweeping. With probably a couple of her acolytes, Basil, Wilfred, and Devania. All of them are humans.
You can push her down if she will go for the ear.
So,
okay.
What are you doing?
Ras?
So, are we looking for any potions? Or?
We're looking to get whatever we can get before we go in. So, if you want to ask for potions, or if you think there's something else.
Potions, antidotes.
Oh yeah, antidotes. I didn't think of that. Yeah. Your call.
Okay.
Helena Gent is a description of her is she is late 30s and blonde hair. She has long blonde hair, which is unusual, but members of the Second Estate are allowed to grow out their hair, as is allowed. She does have bits of weavings, like little. There seems to be a little mechanical clock that is woven into her hair that kind of ticks as you kind of get nearby. No armor or weapons on her person, just a broom and a vigorous to use it to clean up after a lot of people walking in and out with probably muddy boots for an evening service.
Greetings.
Ah, you're one of the visitors that has come into the town. My name is Elena Gent. I am priestess of Akendeth, god of time and peace. Have you? I'm afraid you're quite late for evening prayer. It ends abruptly at the 6 o'clock hour, after which such prayer will not begin again until the sun rises. Around this time, that'll be at 7:15 on the dot, in which the sun will rise. Afraid you're late for service, but we can, of course, do night communion around this time. That is when the stars are perfectly aligned, which is 8:17. So I'm afraid that's in a few hours.
We were going to inquire about potions and
You're looking for blessed recitaries of the church.
yes.
Of course, I do possess a few that we keep in reserve for, of course, yearly service. Which specifically are you going for? Are you looking for the Potion of Youth? We do have it for sale, but it is quite expensive.
Not so much youth, more of remedies for
Poison?
poisons and such injuries.
Of course, there are such potions that are available. We do have a few in town. Specifically, we do specialize in 3 specific potions. Healing drops of the basic variety we do sell here. We do make them as they are quite needed upon the eastern front. Of course, potions of restorative magics. Specifically, it reverses some of the more permanent effects that may elude you. And of course, there is, of course, the potion of youthful vitality that we do specialize in selling, as is our faith, within the purviews of time to elongate your life. So, I believe you're looking for more of the common and uncommon varieties. Is this something you're looking for?
Yes.
The healing draughts are 50 copper each. We do have 14 of them currently available that haven't been taken. The potions of potential is the potions of potential are 350 copper each, that you are borrowing from time itself. And of course, there is trying to look for what it's called.
We just call it youth for now.
Yeah, Potion of Youth, which is very expensive.
Potion of aging, isn't it?
Yeah. Potion of here we go. So there is, of course, such. What is it that we can offer you with?
How many potential do you have in stock? You didn't mention it.
Oh yes, I have 5 currently, and I only have 1 potion of youth currently. There was an elven person. I'm sure you are gifted with youth and vitality, a blessing, oh God.
Yes.
Your non-elven friends, I've never seen your like before.
We're not from around here.
I would assume.
Actually, how much that potion of youth?
Oh, yes, the potion of youth. Tony has to look. I believe it is a very rare potion. Give me a second.
While you're looking that up, 14 healing, base healing, 50 CP. Do we want to just buy it out? Or what are your guys' thoughts?
Oh, I'm sorry. The potion's a possibility. Yeah, I said they were 350 each. So yeah, that's fine. Potion of longevity, of course, is 25,000 copper pieces.
Okay.
It will more than likely reverse aging up to a certain point. Average about 13 more years of life.
More than likely, is there a possibility that it will not? Is there a possible side effect where one might age rapidly?
Only if you're a heretic. Heretics are known to, if they do take it, and they have taken our god's ire, he will take time away from them.
What would make one a heretic?
Heresy.
I don't know what your definition of heresy is.
Do you worship our God? Do you believe in the tenets of our God?
Well, I'm not from here. So, to be honest, this is the first time I've heard of your God.
Well, you're a non-believer. To heresy is acting against the tenets of faith. Our God believes in orderly time. Long has, of course, the Amber family held on to such a faith and not breaking the tenets of time given to us and the exonerables.
So,
Yes, Caedith, of course, is associated with time and youth. He is the brother of Ka, and of course, well, Vodakio and him don't get along very well. The belief of time is that of law, the unbreakable bonds of law, and knowledge and acceptance of tomorrow, and of course, the understanding that that which has happened shall stay, and time shall be unrendered. Vodakio is a strong believer in this, and those that are heretics of such, he is Arbiters, the exonerable.
Oh, okay.
The angels of wrath will, of course, go after him.
so any disruption of the order of time would be quite upsetting.
Horrible, horrible. Heretics would burn, the exonerables would hunt them down.
Okay.
The great wheel would crash upon them.
Okay.
I also admiring your timepiece, that the large clock, and also the timepieces that you have on your person.
Yes. Every single bringer of the faith is a tinkerer in keeping in quite precise measurements of time and histories. Each of us are historians and know deep histories of the world, and are brought to want to know more of those histories so it may be transcribed in the Codex of Time, so that all is not lost and the lies of the past are gone, and only the hard truths of reality and the exact moment in which they are said are done are cast upon the wheel. The wheel weaves as the wheel wills. The wheel of time.
Tony.
Reaching for that one.
Yeah. Oh no.
Okay.
Our potions allow you to undo your wounds to a point, reversing time as you drink them, allowing for probability of new events, and of course, the strongest gift, that of the reverse of time. We can make other potions upon request as long as our faith allows it. But understand, if you are a heretic, it will have an inverse effect.
Does that go for your healing potions as well?
Yes. You only know by drinking.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Now, how might one? This is fascinating, by the way. How are you able to sense disruptions in time?
If I was close enough, perhaps. I would have to be very close, though. I myself have some strength with the faith, but my blessings are meager. Our Archbishop in the Thousand Towers of Henbrook is said to have a control, a blessing with the vestiges of decay and death, to the point where he can reverse time so that a person can undie. I myself do not possess such a strength. The God has not blessed me with such vestiges and understandings of the weaving of the wheel.
I can't take you seriously when you say that.
Can you take me a pizza? I'll take a piece of pizza.
It's your call. You keep going.
Well, we want the healing potions. Are they too risky?
I mean, they might be anti-healing potions. We're gonna find out one way or the other. I think we get some, if not all of them.
If it helps. You know, if you're a heretic, you'll receive horrible nightmares from the God of Time. The falling in decay and old age, and the things you try falling into naught, a repetitive deja vu of your failures. If you haven't had these, you're probably fine.
Oh, we haven't had them, so we should be fine.
Should be.
Probably fine.
We're totes fine. I truly believe we're fine.
Okay.
Do you want to buy them?
We might as well, I guess.
They are 50 copper each.
So for all of them, it'd be 700 copper.
Yeah. It'd be 7 gold pieces.
If we buy all of them, you think you give us a little bit of a discount?
Roll a persuasion with disadvantage.
I figured it'd be disadvantage.
No, you're not a human.
Yeah,
There's a human pantheon.
Um,
And you already said you're not a member of the faith.
I did.
Wait. What are you doing?
well, would I have maybe better luck since I'm an elf?
You shown interest?
You would be at a straight roll just because you haven't said that you're not a follower of the faith, and at least you are long-lived. But you were asking for the discount.
I did
so-
specifically
okay.
ask.
Yeah, when you call it out, you call it out. But you guys, in the future.
All right. So it's still the smaller of the two. So it'd be 18.
18. Well, if you're willing to sit through an entire sermon tomorrow morning, and perhaps receive blessings and anointment, and perhaps walk down the aisle and do some giving of incense and partake of a sacrament, In Death's name, I would be willing to drop the price to 40 copper pieces as a new member of the faith.
Hmm.
Are you willing to be baptized in Death's holy, timely light?
Unfortunately, that may kind of go against, some of the things from home.
Well then, 50 copper it is.
Really?
$50 copper and a root beer.
Did we pick gods for these ones?
No.
Those are halflings.
Yeah, those are halflings we did, but
There's-
we did pick ones for
There's a
this.
specific pantheon
There-
for your guys's.
But
I don't
we're
think
not
we-
religious people.
No, you don't
Yeah.
have to. You know,
Right.
She is offering you to be baptized in Kaendeth tomorrow at 7:15.
How long does that whole process take?
Oh, it'll be 1 hour. It'll be in front of the whole town. It is closed. We don't dip you in water like the barbarians of Adako. Just some incense. And the precise denoting of time and writing your name upon the wheel. With your birthday. And your estimated death day.
We don't know what our birthday is. A problem.
Oh, I have a magical spell for that.
Hmm.
Your birthday and the day of your death will be revealed to you upon your baptism.
Oh, I'm good. No, I'm good, fam. I'd like that to be a mystery.
Hold on.
Well, I'll see you in a few weeks. That's a joke. That's a joke. I'm joking with you. I only know if you signed the wheel. Little levity. I'm allowed to have that when we're outside of the church proper.
Good one.
Go me.
I'm smart enough to know that.
All right. Well, the copper then, and then I can get you.
Can I ask a question? And I don't know if this is insight. This is Leslie asking Tony.
Okay.
During the reading of the will, we are aware that there is an echelon. I'm not saying that right.
An
An exonerable of time
Yes.
that is going to be walking the estate that will want to kill us.
Yes.
Based off the information that she has shared, I have a 0 in religion and a 0 in history. I'm not a smart character.
Mm-hmm.
Would I think this would give us some sort of protection? And if you want me to roll for it, from that thing.
Roll me a. This isn't based off knowledge. This is based off feelings at this point.
Based off
roll
feeling.
me, roll me an insight check with yourself.
Okay.
You're trying to suss out your own feelings and how
Right.
true you feel they might be. Right?
Because I'm also like, I was trying to think, is that like Arcana? Or, okay, insight is 18.
18. I'll give you that. You have the feeling. With an 18 means you have a strong
Right.
feeling about wouldn't hurt. Might help.
Okay.
It might help. At the very least, you're in the club. You're not sure if that makes it better or worse, but at the very least, maybe if you are baptized in their name, the exonerable might recognize you as a member of the faith.
Right.
But then you've tied your name to the faith, which means there might be a possibility that you could become a heretic more by being a member of the faith, but also it might mean you might be more protected, but you're not sure.
Become more of a heretic. Okay. Nope. Yep. Mm-hmm.
But your character has no religious background, so like the
Right, yeah.
mechanical dogma, this is based on feeling like you're like, it could help. But you're not it's based off a feeling you have, not knowledge of raw dogma.
That's what I'm trying to figure out, because this is not a religious. I'm going to do it. So before when she offers that, if you're okay with a little bit of retcon,
Retcon.
I'll do it.
You'll do it. A member of the faith. Ooh, all right. Basil. Get the big clock tomorrow ready and the wheel.
As she's yelling at her, she raises her hand.
Oh, yes. Asking for permission. A lawful thing to do. Yes.
Do I get a cool hairpiece like that too?
Only if you're a member of the faith. You have to make your own clock. Are you interested in the priesthood?
No.
Are you sure? Well, we'll put a pin in that.
Okay.
Perhaps when the mysteries of time and youth are granted upon you, and you know the day of your death and your birth, perhaps you might seek Caendeth's blessings, because only through his blessings are you allowed to elongate or shorten your life.
Okay.
Any breaches of that is heresy.
Okay. I will be here tomorrow at 7:15.
7:15 on the dot.
That's when it starts. Do I need to be here at 7 to prepare anything?
You're already thinking like a Caendethian. Yes, early is on time is late.
Okay, so I'll be here at 7.
Yes, prior proper planning prevents poor performance. I will write out an entire schedule for you, so that you know what to do, at what minute, at what time. Can you read a clock?
Yes, I said I.
Oh, there you go. Blessings of the wheel upon you.
May it turn in your favor.
Yes, always. You're catching on. Very timely of you. Yes, timely quips.
Okay, so 40 apiece, or does that gives us 40?
That'll give you 40 if you're willing to convert.
I'm willing to, yeah.
So 40 times the amount, and that's the toto. I need a pee again. I'll be right back. Oh, God.
I can't do that math right now.
And of course, the potions of possibility are also 10% off, so they're down to 300 per.
Hey, Tony,
Yes.
we've been going for about an hour and a half. You want to take a short break?
Yeah, let's take a short break. Let's take what do you would take, a 10-minute break so you take the dogs out?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
We don't need to take the dogs. Our dogs are at the kennel, but
Oh, right.
we have to get packed.
Yeah.
Oh.
10 minutes for packing.
Sure.
All right. After these messages, we'll be right.
Hey, look, in the last 5-minute break, we changed the sheets on the bed.
Wow, you guys are
All right.
What are you doing?
And all right, we are right back. All right. So your characters just decided to get baptized, and at least one of you, and you have bought some for a cool 10% discount on potions that day.
I was like, who are you talking to? Is there a mouse in somebody's pocket?
Who's paying for this? 'Cause it's 5 gold and what, 60 copper, 40 copper.
Yeah, you guys can figure out the money, change out whenever you want. I'm okay.
Oh, okay.
Whatever.
You're fine with that. Okay.
Yeah, if you guys want, you guys can figure out the money allocations as you or whatever you want to do. I'm good with whatever.
All right.
Each of you have starting gold.
So it's
So you have 5. So you have
5
10.
gold. How many silver again?
60. 40. 40.
So
5 gold, 40 silver.
40 silver?
40 silver.
Wait, we start with
That
5
would be
gold?
that would be 9 gold total. Then.
Yeah, some of you started off with money.
Wow.
That represented the money
10
that you were
silver
given,
per
money you've
gold.
earned, money you have.
5 gold, 40 silver
okay.
is the total.
I had 10 gold written on my
40
sheet,
silver
so
total,
I thought that was an error.
Nope.
40
Yeah,
copper
that's
per
that's
potion
basically
is
1,000 copper.
5 gold.
I'm just going to set that aside for right now. I'm going to go magic item shopping at a later date.
Total amount.
Damn.
That's already the math. Math is done. It's 40 copper. 40 copper.
Yeah, but each of you have money.
Okay. Oh,
Based
40
on your-
copper, not 40 silver.
40 copper is 4 silver.
So 4 silver. So
Yeah.
5 gold, 4 silver.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Sorry, you kept saying 40 silver, and I was like,
It's
Oh.
like 5 $100 bills and 4 $10 bills.
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Gold is equivalent of a $100 bill.
Mhm.
So I put everything at copper standard because then you can think dollars.
For just, I'm kind of curious with my religion. If I also did something with this church, would that conflict?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be bad.
Yeah.
You already have well yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to do or talk to the Aes Sedai about? Who's not an Aes Sedai, but it quacks like an Aes Sedai.
Hey, maybe a priestess of the gray. Okay.
Okay.
Whatever.
1 gold, 8 silver each.
Nothing that I can really think of at the moment.
Okay.
Okay.
Tamar, is there anywhere specific you wanted to go? Gotta pull the map back up.
Nope. I'm just here to make sure that nobody, winds up with a local constabulary
Okay.
focused on us. And also just to make sure that nobody poofs into oblivion.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Good call. Do you want to go to? You had mentioned the herbalist. You still want to do that? Do you need to go to the cemetery? Is there anything else that we need to do?
No, I
for us?
probably definitely want to stay away from the cemetery.
Okay.
Okay.
So if that's the case, then we head back to the estate.
Okay. Ray, since
Sounds like a plan.
Ray, are you heading back to the estate, or do you have any sightseeings?
I would need to talk still with my uncle
Oh yeah.
about the shackles.
So
We'll talk about it.
yeah, it's been a few hours now, so that would be your guys' scene. So it's about 8 or 9 o'clock at night. Everyone's pretty much ate, and now they're just pretty much serving drinks. Otto is kind of just sitting at the bar. He kind of claps you over the shoulder. He's like, Looks like a nice, profitable night.
Yes, yes, I have to get back.
How did it go? How did it go?
I truly wish I could say.
Oh, well. I'm sure you'll let me know in time, or I'll find out when you're living in a big fancy chair in a large mansion, which I'm sure is going to happen for you.
When I figure this out, you will be one of the first to know.
Okay.
But I do have a question for you.
Yeah, sure.
I might have a need for some shackles that will hold a wizard.
It's a very specific ask.
I know. Again, I wish I could say more.
Well, there was a pair of shackles that could do that, but it's on the Amber Estate.
It was.
Yeah, they got some, they're called Mage Bane. They got a pair of shackles up there, the Amber family had. Only had to call on it once, many, many years ago. Long time ago. I think you were here, but you were a little young during that time. There was a dispute with a local wizard who came into town. He was hiding out towards the cemetery, and I believe one of the Amber family and myself had to go out and, well, gather him up. They had to send him back to the Thousand Towers of Hembrook. Something about defacing a tower, one of the wizard towers out there. Some arcane. Well,
Are you saying that the item is actually in the building?
somewhere in there, yeah. I do have normal manacles, which can keep a man. Of course, being a soldier of the Eastern Front, I do know if you gag a wizard and tie his fingers together, he's not much of a caster. Very few spells require no components.
That sounds more than understandably reasonable. Might I inquire about getting a set of standard shackles? And if I find about these Mage Bane, I'll let you know.
Yeah, that's fine. I've got 3 pairs. I'll loan you one.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
You receive a pair of manticles you can add to your character sheet.
Fantastic. Before I go, is Leonor still here?
That Leonor is the wizard woman, right? Yes, Leonor. Yeah, around this time she's probably gone back up to her room. But she is still at the coffin burn.
Okay, I will send up a glass of wine with a note saying, heard you might be looking for a potion. Curious as to if I may be of some service. And sign it with my name.
Signing your name. Okay.
I want to know who it's from, it's kind of important.
Shortly thereafter, a woman with unkept hair, which has been thoroughly washed for the day, right? She's had her monthly bath as she leaves the room. She kind of walks out. She has like a loose robe on, and she's kind of looking around. And she whispers every once in a while, Sebastian, my boy.
She's lousy at keeping secrets. I love her already. Go over to her.
Oh, good, my boy. Yes. You were curious about you. Do you know of the potion I seek?
I just heard you speaking in hushed tones, and the golden potion of deja vu kind of came up.
Oh.
I'm happy to see what I can find for you.
Are you going to the estate?
I might be.
I've been doing a lot of research. I recently came onto this journal. A man brought it back from the estate, and it's fascinating. I would be willing to spend. I have it. It's all the money I have. I have 25,000 copper pieces. It's my life savings. I would be willing to part with this large sum if you were able to find this potion, my boy. It is a wonderful, wonderful thing. I've been reading about it. Your father, your father, my boy. He has something wonderful. He was able to concoct. He was able to siphon time into a liquid. And if you drink it, you can travel backwards in time. This beautiful, wonderful concoction is apparently for every year that it is seeped magic into. For every year, you can travel back an hour in time. This potion apparently is so old, you could travel back 300 years. Could you imagine?
Would you want to do such a thing?
Mere possession of it. Imagine being able to travel back 300 years in time. You could do something. You could be something. The troubles of this world would be gone. All the enemies would be young. I could do. Well, it doesn't matter. I have money. I have money. 25.
I'd like an insight check to see just how nuts she is, and if she would do something evil.
Roll an insight check. And you get special information since you've known her for so long.
I rolled a 12 and I have a 4, so it's a 16, which is not bad at this level.
16. With a 16, this is what you get, especially with knowing her. You know that she came here because something bad happened to her a long time ago, and she's been hiding out from bad people. She's made some mistakes, and all of her friends who are with her are dead because of it. She is haunted by something in her past.
This would give her a reset button.
This gives her not only a reset button, you feel like she would probably want to go back in the past and undo something she's done.
Right. Oh, Tony. Of all people to hit with this one, you hit me with it. I work with survivors all the time. Woo! I'll see what I can find. You have my confidence.
If the gold isn't enough, I can give you other things. Something, anything, really.
Leon, I'll do what I can. I've known you since I was a child, Leon. The least I can do is take a look. Get information, see what I can find.
Thank you.
Of course. And he'll pat her on the shoulder and head on out of here.
She walks back in her room, and she walks out of her room, forgetting why she walked back into her room. She looks back around, and she walks back into her room.
She's early senility?
Maybe.
How old is she?
She is. Give me a second.
26.
No. I'm gonna say she's probably in her 50s, which isn't overly old. She came here when she was a younger woman, right? When you were a child, but she's definitely a person where her hair has gone gray when it shouldn't have gone gray. She is.
Gotcha.
Time is not being kind to her because she has not been kind to herself. And over the years, you've known that she's basically just worried herself into a light madness. Not a heavy one, just.
So this could also be PTSD related. Ray would understand this. Not my character, but
yes.
Kind of the effects of she's suffered some trauma and she's having some difficulty dealing with it.
Yeah, she suffered some trauma and she has some survivor's guilt, and she's not living well with it.
Ross, this is what I do for a living. Just in case you're wondering why I'm talking like this, this is my career. Of all the people, like, oh man. No, I like this one. This is a cool one.
Yeah.
And actually, of all the characters I've ever played, this guy's got one of the better insights, medicine. He's got the right skills to help her. That's kind of cool. All right, at this point, he'll head home.
Okay.
Well, he'll head back to the Amber estate. He's leaving home.
Got
He'll hug his mom, and his little sister and get out of here.
Okay.
I gave you 2 villains on my background sheet. Want to make sure you knew it. Take a look and see what you think. I'm gonna write the 3rd one up next time we get a break here.
Okay. Sounds good.
Well, you don't have to do it right now. I just want to make sure you knew it was there.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be continually mining your guys' backstory stuff for this adventure and beyond. Cool.
For the record, I've only played in one of Tony's campaigns, and the backstory I gave him in the last game was not heavy, and Tony turned it into a thrill ride for me. It was fantastic. I get that little down with the lich.
Ray, you need to see what I said. I'm very disappointed in you.
Oh, okay, where?
In the Zoom
In
chat.
the chat. He
You
set
know
you
what?
up for that.
So, Justine, I am disappointed. Ray, you had the opportunity to say, potion deja vu. It rings a bell. Sounds familiar. I think I've heard of that before. You know, you're right.
Good. So you guys all meet back at the Summerview Chateau, the house of Devontiel Sparta. It's beautiful tonight. He has a lot of floating candles just kind of floating around. A lot of invisible servants just kind of ready. So you guys can see the invisible servants. Each invisible servant does have a candle, whether it's lit or unlit. So you know where they are to ask for something. Each of you is given a room on a various floor. Some of you rooms together, obviously for the twins. And what are you guys trying to do anything tonight?
Sleep.
Going to sleep.
Actually, I would sit down and kind of listen. Just people coming in and out of the house, seeing what kind of groups there are, what other people are kind of planning.
Various nondescript groups with various nondescript plans. Some people going in with people. Some people like, oh, we'll just hang out in the town for a little bit. Other people like, oh, there's a farm up there. We'll just hang out the farm for a little bit and maybe we'll go in. Some people are like, oh, I'll go in by myself at some undesignated time after a PC dies. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
None of your family members seem evil, right? They just all seem different.
Okay. It's basically what I would do until I go to sleep.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
I'm going to sit down and crank out a scroll tonight. Actually, do bards have the ability to make scrolls? They don't, do they?
Anyone has the ability to make scrolls. Scrolls do take time. Generally, a scroll takes about a first level spell would take about a week, right? To just kind of scroll.
Never mind. Scratch that. Not gonna do that.
It takes time. The stronger you get, the less time it generally takes to do lower level spells, right?
Okay.
Yeah. If everyone's ready, I want everyone to roll me a d12. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, that's sorry.
Roll me an interlude dice. I'm rolling a d12. I'm gonna wait till you guys are done, then I'll roll mine. An 11.
3.
6. A 3. A 3.
Okay.
What is that?
It's a 4.
A 4.
I rolled a 6.
No one. All right. No.
That's what Tony said, because Tony said a 6, and I was like, oh, that was me.
Oh no! I rolled a 4. Rolled a 4. If no one rolled a 4, then no interlude. Good.
While you're watching people, I'm literally on the bed.
It is the next morning. You wake up, hopefully in time.
I wake up on time.
You wake up You wake up on time. Do you go and get baptized?
Oh yeah.
It is a large ceremony. When do you want to be born?
21 years ago.
21 years ago. You know the exact day and time of your birth. It is inscribed upon the wheel. Now, I
was born first. I'm the older twin. I don't know how I know, but now I know.
Okay, roll me a d20.
I don't.
Uh,
Apparently,
a d20 in the die.
12.
You have 12 years to live.
Cool.
Oh no.
You're given the exact month and day of your death in 12 years.
So if she dies next week, she's a heretic.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
How dare you shorten your life? He had a plan for you.
Okay.
He shaved his beard for you, devil woman.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You are destined to die in 12 years.
Cool.
3 months.
Really glad
2
I didn't
days.
roll a 1.
I rolled a 23. I'm like, yeah, for every 10 she gets to roll another d20. Oh, only one of those. All right then. All right. It could be a 1.
I
days.
slept through that.
You've got 4 months to live, woman. It's terminal. Anyway, enough of that gay banter. It's a nice long ceremony. It's very precise. You inscribe your name upon the wheel. The wheel reveals your day of birth and your day of death, and it's permanently on there, but only you can see it.
Okay.
And additionally, you're given a small timepiece. It isn't actually a time, it's like a sundial, but you do notice every time you look at the sundial, it keeps, this dial measures years, and it visibly shows the day you're going to die. And it'll slowly move closer as time moves on. All right then, so that all happens. It's 10:47 p.m. Is there anything else you guys want to do?
I'm good at that, but I think it's a good stopping point.
Okay. Do you guys want to stop there, or do you guys want to approach the estate?
Session 1 is always tricky because I never know quite where we're going, so I'm still reeling from all the information I just picked up.
You guys do know that the estate is in front of you. At any point, you can go up there. We get in here, or you guys could start exploring the estate. Obviously, we normally go till 11:30, so we still have some time. I'm not pushing one way or the other.
Good?
I'm
You guys good?
either way.
Do you guys have any other packing or anything else you guys need to do, or are you good
We
to...
got a ton of packing.
We haven't actually packed.
Oh.
I got the
Why don't we-
suitcases out.
Okay,
The packing is theoretical at this point.
Okay, so
let's call.
how about this? We'll call a game for now. With you guys ready to travel, no more shopping, ready to travel to the estate. You guys over Facebook can work out who owes who what gold for what items you guys have picked up so far for the potions and all that. Just so you're kind of have your sheets ready. And we will, next game, we will start off outside the estate. And you guys with the desire to travel inwards.
Okay.
All right. With that is the end of episode 1. I'll see you guys on episode 2.